North Miami Planning Commission meeting of Tuesday, November 5th, 2019. And the first thing we need to do is to elect a temporary chair to run the meeting. As there is no chair and the vice chair is not here tonight. So board members, if somebody would make a motion to nominate somebody as temporary chair.
I'll nominate Mike McDermott to be the interim chairman tonight.
Well, Mr. McDermott has a conflict on the main item, so while I appreciate your intent,
He's out of the way.
I would recommend that you choose somebody else since he won't be here for the main part of the meeting. Sir.
May I nominate Jason James?
I'll second it.
Okay, are there any other nominations?
Or if he feels too bad, Bob Bouchon. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. All in favor of Mr. James serving as temporary chair for tonight's
Aye.
meeting?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
All right. Well then, here I go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The meeting has been called to order. Second item actually is the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone may stand. And the flags are on back of us now. Staff, if we can get a roll call of the board members, please.
Commissioner Jason James,
Here.
Commissioner Bob Pashon,
Here.
Commissioner Milton Goodwin,
Here.
Commissioner Howard Tonkin,
Here.
Commissioner Charles Ernst is excused, Commissioner Bernadette Pierre.
Here.
We have quorum.
All right.
Did you call
Oh, Mike. Commissioner
I'm sorry, Commissioner Michael McDermott.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
All right. Are there any amendments to the agenda that need to be presented?
Sir.
All right. Moving on to item number 2, approval of the minutes, July 2nd, 2019.
So move.
Second. Bob. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes, or minutes are approved. Am I responsible for signing this in their absence? All right, do I make my own line? Because none of these names match mine. All right, I'll start crossing people's names out. All right, moving on to communications.
Yes, Mr. Chair, staff will be bringing back at your December meeting a calendar for next year. So we wanted to get you thinking about holidays, any planned vacation time that you all have in anticipation of reviewing the schedule. Thank you so much.
Excellent, thank you. Item number 4, continued public hearing. There's none. And now we move on to item number 5, the public hearing. How do I present this? I just go ahead and, yes, please, if you may.
PC 13-19, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, approving the award of fiscal year 2019-2020 Community Development Block Grant Funds to not-for-profit community-based organizations as required by 24 CFR 570.201E and providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Mr. Chair, and I'm
Before
sorry.
you give staff report,
Certainly, go
Mr.
ahead.
McDermott has to
Oh, that's true.
recuse himself.
Okay. Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
due to possible conflict of interest, because I serve on the board of several of these organizations, I have to, because of the appearances, I need to recuse myself from consideration of this particular item.
All right. Staff noted.
Right, so Mr. McDermott will be leaving the dais and submitting a conflict of interest form, and He's supposed to not be in the room, so we're going to excuse him for the evening.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank you all
Sorry
very
to see you go,
much.
Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for showing your face for a couple minutes, man.
Okay.
All right, so I guess we can recognize, city.
Let me ask a question.
Sure.
Given that he's done that now,
Yes.
does the quorum, not the quorum, but does the majority now rule at 3? Or are we still at 4?
No, a majority would be
Excluding him?
number. Yes, it would be excluding him,
Okay, so we're at 3.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair and Planning Commission, I'm going to introduce Maureen John Ferons, and she is the city's Housing and Social Services Assistant Director. She's going to present a staff report for this evening's item.
Good evening. Marie Franz Jean Ference, Assistant Director, Housing and Social Services Department. As presented in front of you, staff hereby request that the Planning Commission hear the presentation of the community-based organization funding for that was submitted for evaluation and a recommendation by the panel that was chosen by back then CPND. The Community Planning and Development Department has scheduled presentation by various CBO, which most of them are here. We issue a public notice, an RFP for all CBOs, community-based organization, to submit their proposal. From them, we received 15 CBOs, which are community planning. Those are community-based organization. Total amount to $180,000 and $180,490. As you know, the evaluation committee was made up from Public Works, Community Planning, Personnel Department, and Library Department. From then, as you know, 15% of the public service of the money allocated from HUD, which was the $246,000, 15% needs to be allocated to community-based public services, in which $90,000 was set aside for the public service. Tonight, we had sent some letters out to the community base for all 15. They are probably here to make probably a 2 or 3 minutes presentation to you to let you know what their services they'll be offering to the community will be about. From those organizations, based on the packet that you received, we have Haitian Neighborhood Center, Florida Immigration Coalition, Warsaw Life Skills and Reading Foundation, Expert Resources and Community Center, Avenues of Excellence, Youth of Valor Empowerment, Flawless Transformation, North Miami Foundation for Senior Citizen, MJD Wellness and Community Center, Communities United Incorporated, Youth to Young Adults, Prosperity Social and Community Development Group, Natasha Financial Services, Community Rightful Center, Community Health and Empowerment Network. Out of all those 15, the panel had decided they were going to be funding 10, and 5 of them were not funded. So it will be up to you. Everything is submitted to you for your review. It will be up to the panel to make the final decision and subsequently refer it to the council meeting for final recommendation so we can submit to HUD. I'm available for questions if you have any. And we have some of the organizations are here if you want to call for a presentation however you may like.
I have before they start their presentations, I have a couple of questions on the process. I remember the publications and them being called. I have since had people come to me and say, oh, I saw this after the fact. And so I was wondering if aside from the Miami Herald, the publications, that's the only way we're reaching out to these nonprofits. That's the first question. The second question is, are they not required to be established in North Miami, these nonprofits?
Providing the first two response to your first question, we advertise it online to the city's website and also the Miami Herald. We had a workshop scheduled for them, the
Yes.
R2 workshop, R2
Yes.
apply.
Yes.
And we even hired an outside consultant to teach them,
Right.
or to educate them, or to put their package together.
Right. I was aware of it, but
Okay.
I'm saying that other community members were not. A couple that actually have nonprofits in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering why we didn't actually, as a city, reach out directly to the nonprofits that are registered in the city of North Miami to make them aware that a little bit of proactiveness, I guess, is my point, as opposed to the people that had already applied last year, got funding the year before. We're not really going out of our way to make it known that this is available.
To our recollection, we don't have a database for nonprofits, but from what the
It's
list
very
that you're,
easy to
yes,
Google,
I
yeah.
understand. But from the list that you can see right now, we have a lot of new organizations that have applied, as opposed to the old ones or the ones that have applied in the past.
Right.
So, per our HUD regulation, we only advertise to the Miami Herald.
Right.
And also, we spend like probably 2 or 3 weeks advertising online, social media. We have done all that. So if you see necessary, or the avenue that you may think will be necessary for us to do it, we'll just embrace that.
Yes, exactly, for the
Okay,
future.
so-
Great. Thank you.
sir.
So good question. When you say online, you mean the city's website?
The city's website, and they have
So we
Twitter
don't do
account.
some
Emails.
general email, know me email blast?
Yes, we do. And we went to the East and West Side Association as well.
Okay.
So, if I understand that you publicize it through the city, Miami Herald,
Yes.
and also the social media.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you also had a workshop.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
To educate them, because
To
we faced
educate them.
a challenge last year where a lot of them did not know how to put their package together. We made it mandatory for them to attend, and we hired an outside consultant to, not even us staff, someone who's reputable, who went ahead and prepare a workshop for them in R2.
Just curious, was it successful?
Yes,
Right.
it was.
Okay.
And a lot of them who applied, a lot of them who attended, who did not even apply, just took advantage of that and reached out to the outside consultant that we've hired.
Thank you.
All right. So I guess previously, my experience with these CBOs is that we'll provide, I guess, the public an opportunity, a representative from each, I guess, organization to come up, speak a couple minutes about their program. I think we're limited to 3 minutes, staff.
Yes.
Yeah, 3 minutes per presentation. So.
Two.
Okay.
And then we would have public comment.
Yeah, and then we'll open up for public comments, anyone who would like to provide input. It's my understanding that, staff spend a lot of time going through all the paperwork. So in addition to whatever any, organization would like to present or add on to what they've previously told the staff, it's my understanding that, staff has combed through everything, looked at all the credentials, backup information, and has decided that these applicants all have complete packages, and that they feel comfortable enough moving forward with the recommended amounts, and that if anyone on the planning commission would like to change it, then obviously we have to go and restart redistributing, which that's a challenge as well if it gets to that. So I guess we'll go ahead, and I guess if we have any, yes, Debbie? Yes.
If I may, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Before we start this, I neglected to do something, and my sincere apology. I'd like to introduce our newest planning commission member, Ms. Bernadette Pierre.
Good evening.
Welcome.
She is, Ms. Pierre, this is Howard.
Debbie,
Morgan.
speak into your mic a little bit.
Certainly. Sorry.
Welcome, welcome.
This is Ms. Bernadette Pierre. She is joining us now as our newest planning commissioner. Mr. Tonkin, Mr. James, our acting chair, Mr. Goodwin, and Mr. Pashan. And you met Mr. McDermott earlier.
Definitely.
So again, my apologies, you all, and my
It's quite
apologies,
fine.
madam. So, Mr. Chair, thank you for that indulgence.
And if I may, just to follow up, she has been sworn, everyone has been sworn in, everything. Okay, great. All right. Well, I guess with that said, I think it'd probably be best to just start with the top of the list of the summary of the companies we have listed here. Number one, Haitian Neighborhood Center. I'm going to probably not say that right, but it's Saint La. Is anyone here would like to speak on behalf of that organization? You feel free to step up to the mic and I guess just present yourself. Obviously the company you represent is here, but who you are, how you factor into the organization. And please be mindful, I guess, of the time because there's a lot of people behind you that are desperate to share their great stories. So you may proceed.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Wilbert Laurent, representing Santla, the Haitian Neighborhood Center. I'd like to thank you for the invitation, and on behalf of Santla, I also want to take the opportunity to thank you for your great support. Your input has allowed us to efficiently continue to meet our goal of providing quality job opportunities to the resident of Miami, but more specifically to the resident of North Miami. For the last fiscal year, the employment program of Santla had a very successful rate of placement. From July 2018 to June 2019, a total of 1,883 clients have been served, and about 72% of them are from the great city of North Miami. And from those who have been referred, more than 60% of them were successfully placed in different companies and organizations. The success of our job placement program extends to different fields of employment, including customer service, construction, retail, healthcare, manufacturing, and hospitality, just to name a few. As our fundamental goal is to help to financially empower the North Miami Haitian community, this fiscal year, with our partners, we look forward to making a great impact, and we are persistently encouraging our population to raise the standards that need to be met in order to qualify for something and suit themselves with what requires to be employable. I must say that your funding to our organization is extremely important, and we could have not done all this without your support. Therefore, I really want to encourage the city of Miami to continue to invest in our effort to better assist the resident of North Miami. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Next one on the list.
We should actually have.
Oh, I guess should we? All right. So I guess there's different
Let's
ways.
take this one by one.
Yeah, we could either do it one by one if the
It's
board
probably much
one by
easier,
one, and then
better.
talk about the allocation that's been set aside by the city, and then I guess we can come to an agreement as to whether or not we want to maintain what the city staff has recommended.
So do you want to do,
Or
not that I've got any questions for that gentleman, but if we do questions.
we're gonna have to, if we do one by one, we're gonna have to keep a running tab. That's what I was gonna suggest, but we have other recommendations.
Well, here's the thing is I've actually been doing a little bit of research on them, and I have questions specifically. I would like to have them addressed before we move to the next one.
Okay. So
That's
Mr.
been our
Chair.
process, actually.
Mr. Chair.
yeah,
Excuse
if I
me
may,
for 1 minute.
if I may, yes.
Mr. Tonkin, you need to use a microphone when you make your comments.
We're gonna share.
You could move over, or,
Oh yeah, Mike is
but
gone.
if you do
Yeah,
change
come sit
the
right
name.
behind.
There you go.
Musical chairs.
Is that on?
Yes.
I was just saying that maybe to field the questions one by one, but then perhaps make the decision on everything at the end. at once.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. So-
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then we could do it that way. So if you may, sir,
Come back up.
if you may come back to the podium, there's a couple questions, I guess, from other people on the commission.
And then that way they don't have to wait around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so I noticed that you did receive funding last year also from us, and I was excited when I went on into the website and I looked to see the great things that you're doing. I was just wondering, because you requested the 10,000, and that's what staff is recommending. So obviously, that's what we're hoping that we can approve. With your funding that you received last year, I'm just kind of curious. 10,000 isn't a lot to a lot of nonprofits, but it's a lot to some nonprofits. So, unfortunately, we didn't get the packet, or we got the packet, but I didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of research, and nonprofits is near and dear to my heart. So, I'm really excited when I see people like yourself that do such great things for the community. But I was just wondering if that 10,000, and this is actually a question for staff, was that 10,000 the maximum that we could have offered to them? Because I noticed that we have 700 and some odd thousand that is in that, but we're only allocating 15%. I guess this is for staff. 15% that we're giving of that out. So I guess my question is, were we able to actually give these nonprofits more?
No, sir. As you can see in the report, although we received $750-some thousand from HUD and CDBG money, we can only allocate 15% of that amount towards public services.
Okay.
Of which it was 113.
Right.
We do have a YOB program. We've allocated 23,000 for the
For that.
summer kids.
Right.
So therefore, only $90,000 was left
Okay.
to allocate towards the public service, which will be the CBOs.
Got it. Okay, so
Okay.
we are limited to
Yes, sir.
what we can give.
Yes.
Okay. Well, all right. Thank you so much. So, well, then again, I guess that is the max that you can get. So, but I wanted to thank you for coming back up, and again for the great work that you're.
Thank you. If I may add something quickly, it would be very good if we can get more than what we're getting right now. As you mentioned, I know it's a lot of organizations competing for that grant. The program alone at Santla is running with a budget of $150,000. The program alone, and the grant that we receive from the CDBG is only a portion. We can only apply to a portion of what we do throughout the fiscal year.
Right. Okay. Great. Well, I wish you luck. Wish you well.
Thank you.
Got my vote.
All right. So moving on to number 2, Florida Immigrant Coalition, Inc. If there's a representative from that organization that'd like to come up, here we go. If you may, present your name and your company's address.
Yes. Hi. Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Ivan Parra. I'm representing Florida Immigrant Coalition. We have been working with the city for several years now, organizing events and bringing information to the North Miami residents about citizenship and other legal assistance. We had tremendous event during the last period. Many people during this time are desperate to get legal assistance, legal information, and it's very expensive because it's a loud demand. But now our service basically is a volunteer-based program that we are going to the neighborhoods. We have events at the library or at the community centers with the promotion of the city, and our promotion people come and we bring lawyers and other volunteers, fill out forms, or bring only information, questions to resolve. People that then they call to the office, thank you so much, and now a citizen because you fill out our application. Yes, yeah, thank you so much, and we expect that you can approve this program again. I mean, this request, this grant, because we want to keep serving the more vulnerable people in this country, in this city, and low-income families. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Don't leave.
I have one question. How much of your outreach touches residents of North Miami?
Okay. According with the data we have, there are probably 15,000 people permanent resident that could be eligible. 15,000. 15,000. In the whole county, there are 350,000 eligible to become U.S. citizen. majority don't apply. Only are applying 20,000 per year in the whole county. So the main reason is lack of information, a very expensive process and complex. So we promote it, the city promote it, but we can't control that, how many people are going to, how many people from the city are going to show up. We serve everyone. It's very difficult to say no to another person. So probably 20% of the people that we are serving are actually from the city. So, but we track the information. One of the events, we decide to only serve people from the city, 2 lines, 1 line here and 1 line here. And was very difficult because, oh, I came first. Oh, no, I came first. No, you are not going to receive benefit. You are not going to receive information. It was very complex. So now we are open and we finish until we end. And we follow up with all people at the office. Any person that couldn't be served at the event in the North Miami, we have office and they can come to the office, we pass the information and we serve them at the office.
Thank you.
I have a question. Is the fund is used for the volunteer or to pay for the process of that paper? What is the fund is used for?
I mean, the fund is for everything, the whole program.
The
'Cause
whole program?
Yes, because some of the key, like managing the program, are not volunteers. Right?
Okay.
So who is organizing registration? Paid person. Who is organizing the IT person, the computers, the system?
What about the lawyers? Are
The
you
same-
partnering with some other organization?
Yes, we partner with the Haitian Lawyer Association. They came last time with the American for Immigrant Lawyers. They came. So we partner with other organizations. It's the only way we can serve many people. Only partnership and volunteer, follow up, making sure they come, materials, promotion, all the stuff.
And how many events do you actually have in the city, like per year, approximately?
We have more than we actually say on the scope of work. For this time, we are proposing 6 events. 6 events, and that would be with the collaboration of the city. That could be huge because the city has allowed resources to promote it into the city, and we are more statewide. So when we promote, it's going to be more big, right? But the city has allowed channels that can just actually go to the North Miami residents, and we really want that collaboration because it's going to help a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So, okay, I don't want to be the bad guy here. But you did receive this funding last year.
Correct.
And so what you're saying is that you still have not been able to capitalize on the city's resources to help you have a better success rate for North Miami residents. I understand that that you are doing amazing work, and it is helping everyone in South Florida, perhaps. I'm just here really to focus on the city of North Miami and our
Correct.
residents.
Right.
And making sure that our residents
Correct.
are getting our bang for our dollar.
Correct.
Right.
And I think if the city coordinate with us the promotion, that would be a huge. Sometimes the city is too busy doing other things, so we promote it. But not the same way we promote it when the city actually promote it. The last event was a massive North Miami residents because
Okay.
the city promoted. When the city is not promoting it, we struggle with the city, So our recommendation is the city can really okay, those are our events. It's at the library, it's at the Griffin Center. Come, North Miami residents. You have our capacity.
So you would like
By
to have a
recommendation.
partnership with the city?
Correct. So
Okay.
we can do it, but with the city and that connection, it's gonna be totally different dynamic. So yeah, my recommendation that the city can be very involved in the.
Okay, well, I would like to make a recommendation that we can see what
Yeah.
we can do to help assist.
Correct.
Because if we're giving funding out to these nonprofits and you get your hands tied for lack of the city being able to help
Participate.
facilitate you in being successful,
Correct.
then what are we doing? We're
wasting
just throwing
funding.
$10,000 to
Well,
you.
we are doing more events and more events just to get the numbers.
Exactly.
You know, and it's more work. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to number 3, Russell Life Skills and Reading Foundation, Inc. Is there a representative here this evening? Yes, there she goes. If you may, please state your name and your organization's address.
Yes. My name's Kathy McCarthy. I'm the Executive Director for Russell Life Skills and Reading Foundation, DBA Russell Education Foundation.
And I'm Pauline Doyley, Director of Programs.
Our program is operated out of Griffin Park at 12220 Griffin Boulevard. That's where we run our after-school program for your children. Our foundation was started by Twan Russell, a former University of Miami and Miami Dolphin football player, and his mother while he was still playing 20 years ago. We're in our 20th year. His mother was an educator and saw a need to have a bridge between working families and then the after school and the homework and what happened with kids when they didn't have the support at home. So they started it with the understanding that first maybe it would just be to help kids with homework, and they learned after 1 year that children were coming to them and homework wasn't the problem, the kids were not reading at grade level. Children that aren't reading on grade level by the end of 3rd grade are 83% less likely to graduate from high school. That's an appalling statistic to us, that a child's future could be written for them by the end of 3rd grade. And of that 83%, 77% are likely to be incarcerated by the time they're 21 years old. That's another appalling statistic that falls back on the shoulders of the city. We're trying to partner. We've been a partner here since 2004 to help bring these children up to reading at grade level. We also do math and science, and this year we're bringing in STEM activities for children to expose them to other activities such as coding, robotics, some of the arts. We call it STEAM, and actually we refer to it as STREAM activities because we throw reading in there as well. Our goal is to get all these children reading at or above grade level. They come to us, we do a pre and a post test. We use the San Diego assessment and we use Dibble's assessment. So we have a marker, and then the teachers take each of these children's pre-test and map out a plan how we get them to where they need to be by the end of the year.
Great.
I have a question.
Sure.
Have you tracked them
We track them completely.
to high school or to where?
It's very difficult to
To
track
track them
through
to
high
high
school
school, yeah.
because we service mostly in the low-income areas,
Okay.
and it's very transient. We have started a better tracking system in the last couple of years so that it's in a computer. We can go back, I think, 5 years now on our pre and post test. But we've been a little handicapped by the school system because we don't have access to their school grades. How we get how they do in school is we have the parents, the teachers ask the parents and get the permission that way. But our teachers talk to the parents. That's part of their placement plan for how they're doing during the year to see how they're doing in school. And I will say one of the benefits of this, besides the increased school grades, one of the things that I've witnessed, I was on Twan's board for 18 years and just came on a year ago as executive director. One of the great benefits is when you see these kids come in at the beginning of the year, a lot of them are very surly and behavior problems. They don't want to be doing schoolwork after school. They don't. But when I come back, getting closer to Christmas and visit the classrooms and look at the kids, some of the ones that were the biggest behavior problems and had the most attitude problems at the beginning of the year are actually some of our better students because their self-esteem is better. And if you look at children, kids that have low self-esteem are either likely to be a bully or to be bullied. So that's another side effect of getting these kids reading and getting their educational component up where they're able to function in school a little better.
I have another question.
Sure.
How many kids do you service in there?
Last year we had 43 at Sun Kiss Park. I'm sorry, at Griffin Park. We
I
were
have
at Sunkist until the last 2 years. We started in 2004. The last 2 years, I think we've been running, last year was at 43. Yeah, so,
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
What percentage of the students that you provide the services for are North Miami students?
all.
All of them,
Anybody
right?
that
So
comes,
it's
and we
all,
s-
it's a
It's
North
Griffin
Miami
Center
charity. I
Correct.
just
North
and
wanted
it's
to
north,
eliminate
anywhere,
that.
correct.
Okay, and then so also, what what you're saying is that this proactive engagement in the children's lives is heading off a whole bunch of issues down the road. So it's about proactive engagement in people's lives.
Absolutely.
Okay, and the other question is, of all these numbers, you've got this 17,190. Where did that number come from? As a business person, I like to see numbers that, it's a curious number.
Absolutely. If you look at our proposal, that number is 10,444 is for 2 certified teachers for the after-school program. Another 5,800 is for a site director who oversees the 2 teachers.
So you're
acts as a
saying the numbers are
substitute.
very specific to
Very
actual
specific.
jobs and such?
Description.
So-
It's-
Right. It's not
we-
random numbers
We
at all.
actually only applied for this grant with those dollars for the personnel cost. All the other supply costs, the overhead, any of the other costs that it takes to run a program like that, we get other funding for.
So you feel very specifically that this program is really about enriching the children's lives in our city?
100%.
Thank you.
I have a comment and a little bit. I actually had a foster child that went through the program and is no longer, so it's not a conflict of interest. But we did see actually some great improvement at the Griffin Center, great improvement in the reading and the self-esteem. And as you can imagine, a foster child usually comes with a lot of that. But I can honestly say we have a great success story on our hands through that program.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We look for those stories. I would love if you could email us
Absolutely.
that,
Be happy
because
to.
we do put that in all of our information to point out to people that it is something where these kids, grow, and
Right.
it's just a very needed thing for a lot of these kids at this age. And
Absolutely.
we only do kindergarten through 5th grade.
Right. And I wish that we could actually give you the $17,190.
But let me ask you a question. Can we make recommendation at the end?
We can make
Okay.
recommendations.
Yeah,
yes.
we're able to make recommendations, but obviously, we have to adjust. If we add one to someone,
Yes,
we're gonna have to take
we
away.
can adjust.
So now the
from
challenge
other.
is on.
It's
Okay.
loaves and fishes. Very much so.
Any other questions?
And this is why I wanted to get into the nitty gritty, because I do know that every dollar is important. And if we can give you 17,000 that you need, that I know is going to going to have an impact, as opposed to giving it to someone that is outside of our community. I'm sorry, I just can't rightfully vote on giving it to someone that can go outside and get the downtown Miami's budget, not North Miami's budget.
Right.
Correct.
With me? Good. Okay. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you all very
Thank
much.
you.
All right, thank you. Okay, next up is Experts Resource Community Center Incorporated. Is there anyone here on behalf of that organization? There we go. If you may, please state your name and your organization's address.
Good evening, Danny Felton. Our office is located 600 Northwest 183rd Street. We are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency. We've been successful. We're a fully integrated agency that's been successful at assisting individuals sustain and promote home ownership. We provide pre-purchase, post-purchase counseling. We provide foreclosure assistance. We provide several outreach services throughout the city of Miami, North Miami. Every fourth Saturday, we have made a concentrated effort for the past 4 to 5 years to be at the North Miami Library to educate North Miami residents on the important roles of becoming home ownership, from financial capability, from the important roles of budgeting. You know, home ownership, for at the end of the day, stabilizes communities. So if you want a strong community, we realize that, you know, it starts with the house. When a person owns the home that they live in, they tend to take a lot more care of it. And so we've made a concentrated effort of working with the city of North Miami with those homebuyer education workshops, as well as homebuyer fairs. We partner with Councilman Keys and done several events here, homo housing events, to bring in information on renting, information on, you know, just providing the services that we offer. In addition to that, we provide post-purchase counseling here in the city of North Miami. We've made a concentrated effort over the years to provide these services here in North Miami, although our budget doesn't, you know, support those efforts. But, you know, we realize the cause is more of a mission, and that we get this done. So that's who we are. We are a HUD national intermediary. HUD has 4 national intermediaries. We are national industry standards approved. We have certified HUD counselors. And we're here to serve the city of North Miami.
Awesome. All right, let's go down the line. Do you have any questions, Chairman? No? This side? John?
I have
Do you have any
a
questions
question,
or comments?
actually, for staff. Well, the first question that I had initially asked before we started was, you did answer, but I don't think that you answered the second question, which was about the not-for-profits being required to be in North Miami.
Meaning, when you say not, when they are providing the
He's in Miami Gardens.
he's providing the services within the city of North Miami, just like he stated. He
Right.
comes every last one of the services that we are aware of.
Okay.
He comes and have classes for the resident of North Miami for post,
Mhm.
pre-counseling, and sometimes we have him coming in to do post classes for our resident after we're done doing the rehabilitation.
Great.
So he
Okay.
may be located at a different municipality, but the services, because when they're doing their quarterly report, they have to give us the beneficiary data, and those people have to be within the city of North Miami boundary.
Okay,
Yes.
so we did.
Can I ask a question? So what specifically is the money allocated towards?
The money covers a fraction of a certified housing counselor. And to mind you, we offer our courses in English, Spanish, and Creole.
So you're saying it's a wage?
So it's a partial of a wage.
Partial
yes,
of a wage,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually have seen you at the library, so. Yeah, great.
The specific is to educate them on,
So we do pre-purchase. Anyone that's trying to secure any type of down payment assistance funding anywhere in the country, one of the main requirements is that they attend an 8-hour homebuyer education workshop from a HUD-approved housing counseling agency. That's one of the services that we provide. In addition to that, there are some other requirements with funding that individuals receive as far as post-purchase or what have you, that HUD requires that they get post-purchase counseling in regards to sustaining and maintaining that home efficiency and things along those services. We provide that as well. As well as we work with the PAL to provide financial literacy for the adults and youth, just a matter of how to balance a checkbook. Who are these people in the bank? You know, we've gone to TD Bank and walked through the bank to show them they've never seen a vault. You know what I mean? So really just understanding, you know, finances, because a lot of individuals do not have the financial capacity as far as their parents. And so you'll be surprised at the number of youth that are really balancing the checkbook in the house. And so we've learned that, you know, educating them on finances and money and the individuals, who's the loan officer, who's the customer service representative, is very vital when we talk about stabilizing communities.
I think you're exactly right in that, but a question I would ask is, how do you measure success? I mean, when you, at the end of the year, when you've done your work, how do you look back and go, we had a good year or a bad year?
Outcomes. And so at the end of the day, how many individuals that we've helped to, we have to do, HUD requires us to complete a form called a 9902. So everybody that we work with, we put them in a client management system, and we have to do touches on them. So for example, we'll give a homebuyer education workshop, but then they have to come in and do a one-on-one assessment. So throughout that period, we do an action plan, and we follow up, because at the end of the day, the goal is to get them the keys. And so we measure that by getting them all the way to the closing, and we have successful cases of individuals that are North Miami residents that have gone from not even having a credit, credit score to now becoming a homeowner. As well as those individuals that were having some challenges, whether they were in foreclosure or they fell behind in a payment or a storm came and they told them that they couldn't make the payment, they would not have to make the payments for 3 months, and come to find out at the end of the 3 months, if you don't pay the full 3 months, guess what? It's now going to impact your credit. So things like that we're able to look at, and we work directly as an advocate for the residents of North Miami to talk to the banks to say, hey, you know what, this person was behind on their mortgage, so we were able to get them a modification. We were able to get them a forbearance. We were able to keep them in their home and protect the tax base here in the city of North Miami versus it being a delinquent property that has become blight or whatever to drive that price down. So we're helping sustain that tax base, and we measure that through our client management system.
Thank you.
That's good. No, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Next one on the list is Avenue of Excellence Incorporated. Is there a representative from that organization who'd like to come up? All right, if you may, please state your name and your company's address.
Good evening, Council. My name is Rose Hedgeman. I'm the founder of Avenues of Excellence, and we hold our program out of the North Miami Library. I would like to talk to you today, if I could approach. So we launched our Sewing Academy. Basically, it's a Sewing Academy and work match opportunity. We work with youth and adults in the community. What you are viewing there are some of the packets that we give to our students, both youth and adults. So let's break it down. The first thing is, let's talk about the adults. With the adults, we teach them different hand sewing techniques. My creative director, who is a master seamstress, was unable to be here. However, we start with embroidery, hand sewing. We go into sewing machines, which I'm actually very pleased that we've now received donations for 4 sewing machines. So now we'll really be able to get into that. Now with the adults, what we do is not only recreation, but we also try to get them placed with different types of job opportunities, whether it's alterations, whether it's working in the marine time, whether, whatever opportunity that we can get them employed, we do that. We provide them resume assistance. If there's any spots where some people are unable to validate what is going on with their resume, we have a professional resume person that comes in and do that. We give them interview skills, so it's quite extensive. For those that are not interested, this year I'm very pleased to tell you that we received 2 of our students that actually filed for their own business. So when I say work match opportunities, not necessarily someone going to work for someone. We had some 2 students that actually filed for their own business here in the city of North Miami, and I'll be able to provide that data for you. The second part is our youth. And our youth, I'm really excited. I'm really very excited about the entire program, but my youth, I'm really excited about it. For one reason is because with the youth, it allows them to have a moment of pause because they have to focus and they have to concentrate and they have to take their earbuds out of their ears. And the library don't allow them to have coffee. So the one reason why is that it gives them that opportunity to be creative. It gives them a moment to express. We have young girls and young boys that are in there that are creating things, that are learning from doing, again, embroidery. And there we go. Thank you.
Actually, you can finish your thought. Go ahead and please
I was just going to say it's a really very exciting. We have a waiting list. Mr. Paul Brazier at the library. We have students already waiting to sign up. They're asking for that, and I'm excited to partner also with other organizations that's even in the room that have youth to so we can glean from that. One of the questions, in case it's asked from the council, this program, although we're being asked otherwise, this program, your money is for North Miami. So if we go to another municipality, we're going to have to use their money.
Right. Thank you.
In other words, so that's how that works. But the funds that we received here, that's for your students, and those are for your adults. The program is ran out of the library, and so far we've had nothing but good reviews.
Excellent. Is there anyone on this side?
And you may keep those.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
How long have you been in existence?
Look at this.
Actually, we've been in existence. Thank you, madam. We have been in existence for 10 years, since 2009. Our premise is etiquette and protocol. We actually run 2 finishing schools. 3 years ago, we launched our own custom table linen line. We had so many people asking us, do you do sewing? Do you do sewing? Because they have taken that out of the school system. So I asked my creative director, she says, let's do sewing. So we started doing sewing, and now it's really doing well. Our long-term goal is that we do need to bring on at least 2 more seamstresses. So we're really hoping that next year that we will be able to train some adults, especially maybe young women that are pregnant, or men or women out there that can't get jobs, and hire them for us. That's our long-term goal. That's our vision, is actually to be able to hire North Miami residents to work for us.
So if I can ask you, you were saying that this is out of the North Miami Library.
Yes, sir. it
And you're
is.
saying that all of the participants are, the older and the young people are all North Miami residents?
Yes, sir, they
Okay.
are.
And then just the question with the number, 11,300.
Yes, sir.
Is a specific number. What is that for?
Absolutely. So that one of the things is we're having a little bit of a gap in language. I want to be able to bring in someone that speaks Spanish, and I want to bring in someone that speaks fluent Creole. Love speaks all languages. So when you have someone that doesn't necessarily articulate the same, we can still get the job done. But I want to hire someone in the city, again, everything is in the city. So someone that can speak Spanish, someone that can speak English, and we want to bring in more material. We want to bring in more manuals. So these kids, because we're teaching them math, and for many who don't know, you cannot graduate high school if you don't pass that math test. And I have students that are not graduating. They're walking, but they're not graduating because they can't pass math. So one of the things is that we're really working hard to justify that funding. We're really working hard so that we can teach them not only measurements, yards, how many feet is in that, what's the difference between cotton, what's the difference between linen, shrinkage. So it's quite extensive. It's not Holly Homemaker.
It's not just sewing.
It's not just sewing.
just sewing,
And it's
right.
also teaching them reading, which I'm very interested to. Yes, my dear friend over there. So we have to get together because they have to read.
Right.
They have to read the manuals. And we are experiencing students that are having challenging in reading just a manual. Take this yard. And we pre-cut everything to take this and measure this out and stitch this here. And I see a child that's struggling in just reading basic and then struggling in math. Are you serious? So we're taking a creative component. Yes, it's very creative, but we're doing manipulative learning with that.
Right.
So they don't realize that they're learning the metric system. They don't realize that they're learning math. They don't realize that. So I encourage for anyone to come down and visit. Please do, because you'll see firsthand.
How many students?
Right now, we have a waiting list of 20. We only have 15 because of our funding, but we're looking at bolstering that. I know it's an aggressive goal, and I've been told, don't say it, especially out loud, but we really would like to run a capacity of at least 50 students. But keep in mind, we're running at the library, but we're growing, so we do have a waiting list.
Would the library be able to accommodate that?
The larger room, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, they would. The larger room. And we are looking for space here in North Miami. I've already reached out to a few people.
And then the adult, do they meet the same time with the kids or no?
No,
Those
two
are
different.
separate
Yes,
programs.
two different. Because with the adults, that's a little bit more graduated. One of the things with the adults that we're finding is two things. we want to differentiate between those that are looking for work and those that are looking to be an entrepreneur. So those that are looking to become an entrepreneur, whether it's a C Corp, S Corp, LLC, sole proprietorship, nonprofit. One of the young ladies that actually filed their business they've been trying to do that for 3 years. They filed their business this year in March, and it is actually teaching kids how to sew skirts, and it's for children of the deaf.
Okay. Yeah, and you have display at the end of the year of
Yes.
the work?
So, with the youth, very quickly, that's one of the things we're very excited. We do it for the adults as well. We do more of a where they have to create a project with the project, and then they have to also be able to create something, whether it's a job opportunity. They have to come up with something like that. But with the kids, we're also doing like a mini fashion show. So that's really getting the kids very excited. So that's really good. So everything is based about the home. So whether it is an apron or something along the lines, they actually do like a little mini fashion show. So I'm really excited about that. And everything is on our social media. We're on Instagram. Table Couture is on Instagram. Table Couture is on Facebook. And we actually now have just, we're getting ready to revamp our website. So our whole Table Linen line is going to have a separate page altogether. One thing I wish we would have done more, and we will definitely be doing now, is we will be showcasing more of North Miami, because I want everybody to know, we're here.
Excellent.
One other question, if I might. So
Yes,
I
sir.
noticed that you did receive the grant last year. We don't get any figures, so we don't know what actually was awarded last year.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of curious, like what your grant was. And,
Absolutely. Not a problem.
like
We
what-
was awarded only $3,000 and I believe $900 and some dollars. And with that, we ran the program from February all the way to the end of September, including a full-time summer camp.
Wow.
And we did it on our own, and we made it work. We started at the First Church of North Miami. We saw the numbers wasn't working and that we weren't going to, be able to satisfy what we did. We picked it up. We hit the ground running, moved it to the city, the North Miami Library. The moment we moved it to the North Miami Library, we had a waiting list. So we're moving very aggressive. Those numbers are going to be, I feel very confident to say the reporting will be double. In addition to being able to partner with many of the organizations that's already funded and operating in the city so that your money is turning over in your own house.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate the information
Thank you,
in
Council.
your organization.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
Next on the list, Youth of Valor Empowerment Incorporated. If there's anyone here representing that organization who'd like to come up, introduce yourself and the address to your organization.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening, I'm sorry. My name is Lady Aloud. The headquarters of the Youth of Valor Empowerment is located at 1175 Northeast 125th Street.
All right. Is there anything about your organization that you'd like to share with us?
The Youth of Valor Empowerment, YOVI, is the only one of its kind in the city of North Miami for all girls. If the Youth of Valor Empowerment is on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're a public charity. Everything we do, we make it public. But the most important thing, history reveals girls with role models tend to do better than those who don't. All the girls, they're coming from the city of North Miami public school, from 14 to 18. The girls, as myself, the leader, I spent an entire career working for public safety. This is a very disciplined program. When you see the YOVI program, everybody looks so rich, but we're not. I make sure they wear uniform because let's say I have a beautiful dress, you may not have a beautiful dress. So if we go somewhere, and another thing, when people wear uniform, they support each other better. There were beautiful uniform, Class A uniform. There were regular uniform weekly. Girls that came to the program with Fs now graduating high school with A's. The thing about the OV program, to me, that's my baby. I only have one kid, but when I was growing up in Miami-Dade County, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have no coach. I didn't have somebody to show me the way. Against all odds, I made it. And when I see those kids, I see leaders. I see the next generation of leaders. What makes the OV program very special is the success of the Yovis that come to the Yovi program. Every year, at least 20 girls will graduate from high school. And I make sure before they graduate from high school, they know exactly where they're going. With the Yovi program, I partner with other institutions. Johnson & Well. I make sure the kids will go there every year. We'll go to a full kitchen because obesity prevention kills. I make sure they know. You don't have to you don't have to eat very expensive food, but with what you got, you can create something you can cook to save your life. I make sure Dr. Malu from Miami-Dade College, I'm an MDC. Dr. Malu wants us to know the Miami-Dade College will do everything they can to make sure when the Yovis go to Miami-Dade College, they succeed at any cost. This is how we do it. So once a Yovi is getting ready to graduate from high school, I make sure we meet with them to know exactly what they're heading. Let's say you are a group of Yovi heading at Miami-Dade. When the next group come, you're responsible to show them the way, to take them by the hands so they can succeed. Let's say, because some different things for different girls. What I'm doing here, as a community, we are impacting lives, we are saving lives. There's a demon called human trafficking. We don't want that to come into our community. We want to save our girls. So once they graduate, I make sure I stay in touch with them. The thing that really makes me so happy is when I see those girls coming from college and they volunteer. So if you come to our one of our main community events, that's a National Women History Month celebration, you can differentiate the Yovis between the alumni. The alumni, we receive beautiful suits. They change the pink suit to a professional suit. You will see them, on full duty, just like the kids. Once they come to the library, I can just take a seat and sit down. They know exactly what to do. So we are saving lives, we are impacting lives, and like I said, there's no program like the Yovi. So you say you check everybody. If you check the Yovi website, you will see we are really doing a great job. I remember when we started, when I went to the principal, he wasn't sure. Now the school send the kids and they bring each other. By the time a group graduate, now another group come, we work discipline. They know their creed. To see kids, every event, I give them the microphones.
Thank you.
I give them the microphones. If you come to our event, you see them performing, you see them speaking, they introduce me. So it's like, this is a very successful program in the city of North Miami, and there's no one like it.
Well, that's great. That was a great summary. Thank you very much.
I thank you.
So let's see if there's anyone on the commission who would have any questions.
So what I gathered that you have a mentorship program for young ladies. You match them.
We coach them, we equip them, we develop them. We work with FIU, we work with Johnson & Well, we work with Miami-Dade College. This afternoon I told them the first field trip we're getting next year in January, we will be going to the School of Nursing at Miami-Dade College. So I make sure they know exactly where they're going. We partner with UP. Let's say you graduate from high school, you may not be able, because of your situation, you may not be able to go to college fully. With UP also is at Miami-Dade, where they train you with the soft skills for 6 months, and then they place you. Next year, I have 2 of my Yovis, one gonna be placing with Wells Fargo, one gonna be placing with Bank of America, and they continue to go to school at night. That's how I did it. They can do it.
That's excellent.
Yep.
Anyone else on the commission?
And how many young ladies come through your program?
Every session, sir, 30 and up. All of them coming from across the street from the North Miami Library. We do great things with them, great things.
And how long have you been doing this?
Sir, I've been doing this since 2006 when I was working for Miami-Dade Corrections. I realized the community has been good to me. I must pay it forward. And when I started this organization, I started to work with women first, Ladies of Valor Empowerment. And I started from my living room. And today we are doing good.
You've not received funding from the city for this before.
Yes, I have.
You have?
For the Youth of Valor Empowerment Program, yes, sir.
You received last year?
Last year, yes, sir.
Then there needs to be a correction because on our packet, it shows that you did not receive.
Well, I believe they put it under the Ladies of Valor Empowerment.
Yeah,
I work with the ladies, but I'm not here looking for funding for the ladies. I'm always come to look for the youth, for the YOVIs.
Okay.
Last year, I believe they have it under the Ladies of Valor Empowerment, but it's supposed to be Youth of Valor Empowerment.
It's Youth of Valor, and then your grant request was for 25. Now, and when I was researching earlier, I noticed that you did have an application in for the State Farm grant.
Yes, sir.
Did you receive that?
It's still on. I followed up with them. I'm still waiting.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Good
sir.
luck on that.
I thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very
you.
much.
Yeah.
We appreciate your time. Next up is the Flawless Transformation Incorporated. If there's anyone from that organization that'd like to come up, please introduce yourself and state the organization's address.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marcella Briggs. I am the founder and executive director for Flawless Transformation Inc., which is a new nonprofit it will be located in North Miami Beach, but we are going to service North Miami clients. Like I said before, Flawless Transformation is a new non-for-profit. However, I've been working in social work for over 10 years now. I used to work for Career Source, so I know it inside and out. I used to be a workshop facilitator. So what we did was to help people place them on jobs and so forth, and help people with employability skills and resume writing and things of that nature. What we want to offer with Flawless Transformation is our programs, which are very important. Flawless Career Coaching Program provides professional clothing and innovative educational programs such as career tests and assessments. That's through the Myers-Briggs program and employability skills training. The second program is called the Refinery. The Refinery is something very important for me when it comes to, first of all, helping women who are underprivileged, who really need the assistance. We want to host workshops on entrepreneurship, housing opportunities, financial literacy, health benefits on fitness, nutrition, and holistic wellness. A lot of our women that we've helped in the past, they don't have access to health benefits of those sorts, or housing or entrepreneurship workshops and things of that nature. So we wanted to present that in addition to the career coaching. Another thing that we want to work on is a one-year campaign is to help 100 women, place them on jobs, well, I'm sorry. Give me 1 minute, sorry. I'm a little bit nervous.
That's fine. There's no need to be nervous here. We're all here for a good
This is
purpose.
my first grant. I'm doing
It's
this
completely
all on
fine.
my own, and I'm like,
It's completely
but
fine.
it's-
Completely fine.
Thank you. So, yeah, I took a leap of faith to really do this.
It's good.
And
It's good.
it's close to my heart because I've seen so many women over the years that have come out of broken situations, domestic violence survivors. I just went up to Tallahassee not too long ago with Miami's Workers Center, and we're doing a workshop with the survivors. So when I see the need, I'm like, it's just more than employability skills. The women need help on all facets of life, and holistic wellness is one of the main criterias, because when psychologically, if you're not thinking properly, then you're not able to function well on the job. So if we can provide these things like mindfulness,
Keep it going.
base, interventions and things of that nature, that's very, very beneficial. Like I was saying before, our one-year campaign is to help 100 women tell their transformational stories. So that's something that I'm working on my own. I'm pulling in the money on my own. And like I said, this will be my first grant. So thank you for hearing my story.
Oh, good. No, that's fine. Is there anyone who has any questions for the applicant?
Can you tell us what tell us what Flawless stands for? The
Foot
acronym?
Flawless? Well, the reason why I came up with the name and the logo, it's actually a cluster of different gemstones and diamonds and rubies and sapphires. So I see all women as flawless. Because you know what it is? They come and tell you their horrible stories and everything that they're going through that is so bad. But if we show them a different perspective that life is, you know, something grand and greater and healthier, then you can transform. So we're looking at flawless in a more positive aspect rather than something negative.
All right. Gentlemen?
Do you meet here in the city of North Miami, or is it something? Is your organization meet elsewhere?
Well, yes, I used to in the past. So right now what I want to focus on is North Miami and North Miami Beach.
Okay.
Because working at Career Source, most of our clients came from North Miami and North Miami Beach. Haitian, Hispanics, yeah. And the majority, again, are women who are living in a very impoverished state.
So obviously, staff thinks that you've got a great idea, a great concept here. Unfortunately, you requested 10,000. They only recommended to us 8,000. It is quite difficult because it is kind of a leap of faith when we have existing organizations here that are doing such great work, and our hands are tied. We're limited. But whatever the outcome is and whatever you get, please just keep pushing.
Thank you.
And
I
it seems
appreciate
like
it.
from your website and the amount that you work that you put into it so far, you've done a lot for this your first year.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you. Next organization, North Miami Foundation for Senior Citizens, Inc. There's a representative that'd like to come up, give a brief summary.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Blanca Cobo. I'm a board member with the North Miami Foundation for Senior Citizens. Our executive director had a surgery, minor surgery last week, and she couldn't be here tonight. The North Miami Foundation was founded in December of 1974. It has been at the same location ever since, at 620 Northeast 127th Street. What we do is, our goal is to improve quality of life for our frail seniors in our community and help them remain safe and independent as possible in their homes. Our services include transportation to grocery stores, social work support services such as screening and assessment and counseling, home delivery meals, homemaker services, and we also have a group of volunteers that call the people that are homebound and check on them weekly and make sure that, you know, if they need anything, they notify the foundation so that we could help them with all their needs. We have requested $10,000, and this funding will be, we will be able to provide 2 meals a day, 7 days a week, for about 5 clients, all of them in North Miami. We have about 450 clients. We service North Miami Beach, Miami Shores, the immediate area, but in the North Miami area is approximately 150. And we feel that, you know, actually about 1 of every 7 Floridians in the age of 60 and over, a lot of them face hunger. And by providing them with a meal that is delivered to their home on a daily basis, at least they don't have to worry if they cannot, you know, if they don't drive or whatever, if they don't have anybody close to them to help them to get a meal and be safe at home. So that's what we are. With that money, we will be able to provide 2,374 meals by the end of the program. For all the people that we service in the area.
But that is with a $10,000 grant, not an
Right.
$8,000 as our staff is recommending to us.
Right.
Okay, I just want to make that clarification for people that may be watching at home. Because your organization is fantastic, and I feel very strongly that we should be giving you of all organizations should be getting at least that $10,000.
Well, we appreciate that. And we could certainly use the funds.
Yes.
Do we have any other questions or comments?
I definitely agree with him.
Yeah, thank you for the work you did.
The work that you have done, I know several, actually even a family member that was cared for, and your organization is fantastic, and I wish that we could do more.
You know, we don't have that many employees.
Right.
But they work very hard.
Right.
When I retired 3 years ago, I've been going a couple of days a week to see if I could help with some of the paperwork and stuff like that.
Volunteer.
Because they really need the assistance.
Yes.
They do a lot of work for the community.
Right. Yeah.
So
Thank
we would
you.
appreciate your consideration.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate your
Thank
time,
you.
man. All right.
That was a good
For the
one.
next organization, number 9, we have MJD Wellness and Community Center Incorporated. If there's someone from that organization that'd like to come up, give a brief summary within their allotted time, and introduce yourself and the address of your organization, please.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Emanuela Freeman, and the organization address is 822 Northeast 125th Street, North Miami, Suite 103. I am the actual founder and president of this beautiful organization. What we do, we promote health and wellness, and we educate people how to live a better life, because we started that organization in 2004. When I started, I think that it was a game, but I didn't know where I put my feet on. But in reality, it's a need in North Miami. Last year, thank you so much for this opportunity, guys. You helped us with $3,000. We was able to host 16 different events in North Miami. 8 was in the senior living apartment, where we provide wellness education and food for them. And the other 8 was in different sites of the city of North Miami by providing free health services, social services, immigration services. To do all of that, we partner with different organizations such as Borinquen Medical Center, FLEEC, Lawyer Association, the Nova University, to name a few. We want to continue doing the service because this year we was able to serve, like for people that we put in our Excel sheet, 2,000 people, and we still have people from August, October, because we didn't have event in September. We didn't put yet, so we don't know how much people we have left to add in our sheet. So every month we serve from 300 to 400 people, residents of North Miami, and we are very proud as a young professional to be able to serve all those people. And the fund that we asked for several things. Not only I have a lot of volunteers that help out. So now we need to give them something. 4 years doing that service, they need to get at least something, even not a pay, but at least $100 to go home. Have more counselor like me to go to the seniors to educate them, because based on that program, we was able to save so many lives. And right now, next year, we're gonna start a HIV program where we distribute condoms. We partner with Florida Health Department, where we distribute condoms in North Miami. But whenever we see a lot of group of people in the local business, we already have our basket. We put the condoms, and every single event we go and we distribute condoms just to help them to have a safe, a better life. So we're waiting for your phone. We cannot continue without you. Merci. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone on the commission that'd like to provide input or?
Just real quickly.
Because your closing statement, you said without this grant, this funding, you can't continue.
We're gonna continue because we've been doing it. Without it, we're gonna continue. But if you drain us, will help a lot. We will provide more services. Like I said, we start a program with the $3,000 by going to the seniors center, by providing health and wellness counseling. I was the counselor. I don't have no problem. I have the degree, I have the education. I don't have no problem not getting paid, but as soon as the message is out, I'm very, happy because I work. But if I can hire 2 other people who has the same knowledge as me, who's really dedicated to help out, we can save more lives. Because I remember I went to 3 apartments. There was like 3 seniors living by themselves. One of them had her high blood pressure and 280. And if you know someone that high blood pressure 280, automatically that person should be died. And I was able to call 911 and help that. And other, call me for food, call me at any time. But it's something that I didn't have. But if I increase that services in North Miami, where we have more Haitian population, I was able to speak 4 languages. So thanks God, I can have someone that help me, not going to the Spanish, to the Haitian. We need help to do that because it's a lot. It's a lot. That's what we request, more if we can have it, so we can provide more services.
And how much did you receive last year?
3,176. Yeah. But even though we have support from a lot of people in the community, the businesses, the friends help out because, like, for example, when we want to pay for the transportation to go get the food on Homestead to donate, I can ask any of my friends. They will be more than happy to help me, especially by promoting those events. The Haitian media help a lot. They help me promoting, but you cannot ask all the time. At least one day, if you $10 will make them like, oh, Manu did something, because the community call me Manu. Manu did something. But I never had that opportunity to do it. But they see what I'm doing. They help me on it, and we was able to serve the North Miami resident.
So, any national grants that you grant writing?
No, so far our first grant, it's North Miami.
Okay.
And this is the second time. I remember last year when I come, I didn't know what to do.
Right.
And I don't even know how to write a grant. I told them, I'm a physician. I know how to provide health services, but I don't know how to write grant. But this year, I would like to thank them because they have a workshop.
Right.
They have Peggy to help out doing all the paperwork. I don't say that I am, but I'm close. And thank you so much, Mary, for that great help, because without that, I would never be able to do it this year.
That's excellent. Yeah, it's good to hear that our city staff is helping out the community, the same way the community is trying to give back as well. So anyone else have anything they'd like to ask?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We do appreciate your time and all your efforts in the community.
Thank you to you. And I would like to add that if you want more information, MJD Wellness and Community Center, all social media, website, you will see our work.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Organization number 10, Communities United, Inc. If there is a representative from that organization that'd like to come up, give a brief summary, and please introduce yourself and the address of the organization.
Yes. Can she
yes.
hand you guys
Sure.
something?
Debbie,
And
sure.
we- And we just
Sorry.
want you to take out those 3 sheets of paper real quick.
Didn't want to
Okay.
startle
In the
you.
front, It
All right.
should be
All right, got homework. You
the
go that
first 3
side.
pages.
I'll do this
Okay.
side.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay,
Now
my
we
na-
can.
Good evening, and thank
Good
you
evening.
for having us here. My
Yes.
name is Hattie Willis, and I'm the Executive Director of Communities United. We have 2 locations. Our location in Miami is 4332 Northwest 17th Avenue, Miami, Florida 33127. And I say that by reading it because not only am I doing what I do for everyone else, I was a victim. And what I do is I teach. I have a medical background, and I teach disaster preparedness for senior citizens to let them know what they need to do in the event of a disaster. And I started doing this with Hurricane Wilma. And I sounded the alarm because I had worked nursing for 30 years that what happened in that nursing home was going to happen in Miami if no one listened to me. Because all of a sudden in our communities, we start seeing these high rises and no one was putting an evacuation plan or a thought process in to what do you do when you got 100 senior citizens in a tower and the windows don't open. So thank God for the work that we did. We fed 4,000 seniors every day and made sure they had food and water all over Dade County when that disaster happened with Irma. So that's why we didn't have the death like they had in the nursing home. So I've been doing this for the last 25 years, and it's what I do. This is a hurricane kit. It's what you guys would need at your house. Everything here is the same thing that you would need. Shayla gave you a gift. I hope she gave you the jump drive. And I'm going to tell you why you got the jump drive, and I'm going to make you laugh because most of you don't even understand this. So, okay, computer's not working, phone's not working. What you going to do? Everything got destroyed. You're now with nothing. Guess what? If you had scanned in all of your legal documents on a jump drive and you had that bracelet on your arm, when it's time now to talk to FEMA or the hospital or the bank or to get your money out because you lost everything, you've got something that's viable. You see how quick that turned into something else? The bank's not open. The card's not going to work. I had Wells Fargo. If you had it, they were out for 8 weeks. So the point is teaching seniors what they need to do before, during, and after the storm. Now, something horrible happened when we had Irma, but we are always arrogant in Dade County. If you tell us it's a 1, we going home and go to bed. We're not doing anything. We might get some gas if we lucky. So we learn to stop doing that because it doesn't work. I'm going to be quick. What I did was after that, we found out that there was 4 programs in Dade County that were giving money to help senior citizens repair their homes after the damage. I gave you the first page. It's Rebuild Florida. They were going to close up on the 25th of the 23rd of December. I helped the county force them to stay open until next year on the March the 23rd. And then we forced them now, they're still open. I know a lot of people in North Miami don't know it. You guys have a great system of getting out information. You need to let them know that they still can get that money up to $150,000. I also was instrumental in signing up at least 150 people in your community, I did over 4,000 all over Dade County. And the lady that's here, Ms. E. Rose, I'm asking for some help for her too. In the back, she's got a code violation that I need you guys to help her with. Her house was destroyed. Please look at the picture. I want you to see it. She's still living in this. And we just got her money. She just got awarded over $50,000 to get her home repaired. And we're working on pulling permits so she can get her home back up in order. And when the last hurricane came, Dorian, I was so afraid for her life. I went to the United Way and I begged them to give me money to put 15 people up in a hotel so that they wouldn't die in their house. And I know that if that had happened, it would have been more death. You see blue tarps everywhere. So my ask for you guys is that we're still recovering from Irma. Don't forget Irma. I just got back home 8 months ago. So we need your help to get the word out to the people, to sign them up for the program before they do close the doors. We were able to get the Red Cross to give at least 20 people in your community $6,500. They had a grant that they were giving out. A lot of people didn't know about it, that they could have gotten that money for Irma if they had spent $17,000 in their homes. We were able to accomplish that with Peggy's help and her boss here. They helped us and we went to your offices and everybody did a really great job. So that's our ask. This is what we do. And you're smiling, but make sure you have this, because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble.
Oh,
okay? Thank you so much.
All right. Well, wait 1 second, ma'am. Is there anyone from the commission who have any questions for the applicant?
Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say to you is that the mitigation program for rebuild for the whole, I'm talking about your city now, the water mitigation opened up today. They had a conference down south. You may not have known it because some things don't come to your website. So please look at that because people may have seawalls or live on canals. That money is there now for them. It's $661 million. You'll see it there. And the other thing that I gave you was the state attorney. She did a whole document on what needs to happen. And the county changed the code and the state changed the code, all of the code now for Florida. You must have hurricane windows, you must have doors, you must have roof. No one can now do that anymore to some homeowner. So if you got questions for me, please ask.
On the commission?
That's great information.
You're doing such a great job, and I'm hopeful that, you know, you will continue for the next 30 years
Oh,
doing
yeah.
the same thing.
I hope I live for the next 30 years doing the same thing. Believe it or not, I laughed. I just told Shayla, she knows this. I had total knee replacement 3 weeks ago,
Oh,
and
man.
I just walked across the street to come to this presentation without a cane.
Look at that.
And
Well, thank you very
and
much.
I'm gonna be a senior citizen.
All right. Well, no, thank you, man. We appreciate your time and all your efforts. All right. Well, with that being said, let's move on to the next organization. We have Youth to Young Adults Inc. If you may, sir, introduce yourself and state the address for your organization, and also just a brief summary.
Good
evening.
Planning Council and community members. My name is
Sir, will you
Monty
fix the
Brown.
microphone? So,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. My name is Monty Brown, and I'm here with Youth to Young Adults. You still can't hear me?
I can hear
Is
you.
the green light lit?
I don't see a light.
Yeah, I think it's
No, there's no light.
You have a green light?
No, that one doesn't. No, it's fine. It's,
Okay.
I hear him coming out.
So I'm with Youth to Young Adults. We service Miami-Dade. I heard the information about the emphasis being on organizations who are based in North Miami. We serve Miami-Dade County. We're an upstart, newly started nonprofit for Youth to Young Adults who serve at-risk youth and those in particular who are in the foster care system and who are aging out of foster care. So this pet project for me, this proposal that we're putting forth to the city of North Miami means a lot to me as a social worker. I work with families who, of course, are low income or beneath the poverty level, and I realized that there was a need for financial literacy. So this is the reason that we came up with this program, is to start addressing this at a younger age as opposed to when a person becomes an adult. As was mentioned earlier, because life happens and circumstances happen where we want to move, we want to grow, we want to purchase homes, we want to invest in property, etc. This is going to be the foundation that we're going to use to educate our youth, and we're starting with middle school. So we're starting with 14 and 15-year-olds. And our program is like a 12-week course. We're going to do it over where it coincides with Miami-Dade Public Schools school sessions. So for the spring session, Easter, fall, and winter break. So these courses will be like in a series of 4. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous.
That's fine.
They're going to be 4-hour sessions, and they're going to cover a lot of different topics. And some of the topics would be making money, financial decisions that we make, budgeting, allowances, student savings accounts, making major purchases, using credit card loans, consumer rights, and recognizing trouble and knowing what to do about it. This might sound like it's a lot for kids to take in, but there's actually a nationally recognized program that we're using their model to start educating these young adults. This information is going to be useful not just to members who participate, but those who bring it back home to their community, to their family members. Because as was said earlier, a lot of our families don't have financial literacy. And they may learn from the youngest one in their family how to succeed and how we can move forward as a community. So this is the reason, and this is the purpose of our financial literacy program called Common Sense. We're going to do this, like I said, in that 7-week period on Saturday mornings. I'm in negotiations with FIU, Barry. They're going to provide us with some volunteers to help us come on board because we don't have a budget where we can pay staff. These will be volunteers who will be doing this for us.
Okay. Is anyone on the
So you
commission?
currently don't have anything that you're started yet?
Yes, well, we're doing a lot of work in the community. We just had a back-to-school giveaway.
Okay.
We're doing a World AIDS Day event that's coming up. We're also doing a toy drive for Christmas, and also through Catalyst, a tree planting, environmental issues.
Okay.
So we'll be addressing things like that.
Unfortunately, they didn't give us a website or anything, so
Yeah, we do
don't
have a website.
information on your
Right.
actual. And again, we kind of are going off of staff's recommendations, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, you know, you had requested 10,000, and
No, it's requested 5,000.
No, it's
oh wait, I'm sorry,
5.
you requested 5,000, but
Yeah.
it seems as though maybe staff had allocated to other nonprofits. So I'm not sure exactly why that is. I mean, I think what you've got is from just hearing it is a great idea, but like I said, unfortunately, I wasn't able to research your organization as I was the others. So I'm kind of at a loss for you to push or not push, I guess.
I wasn't aware that you didn't have that information, but thank you
Yes.
for letting me know. But we
Okay.
do have a website.
Okay.
It's Y2YA, the acronym for Youth to Young Adults. Y2YAINC.org.
All right. Anyone else on the commission would like to have a discussion? No?
And how many kids are you dealing with in the course of this?
So right now, we've serviced up to 500 different families and individuals, and we also do a community daily bread giveaway in throughout Miami-Dade.
So of those 500 families, how many of them were from the city of North Miami, do you think?
A smaller percentage, maybe about 10%. But as we said, we're reaching out into our community to find community partners that are willing to partner with us. There are providers in this room, and they know me, and they know the work that I've done and the passion that I have for what I'm doing. And I know that one person cannot do it all.
Absolutely not. No, and I think you know, obviously no funds haven't been allocated thus far. Ultimately, we have to go through as a commission and decide as a group. But I think it's what's important to take away for those who may not have gotten as much as they requested is that, you know, there is a limited amount of funding.
Right.
But this is a good, I think this format is very good so that we can hear. Maybe next year you come back around, we could see, you know, now that you kind of hear what the commission looks for in terms of
Right.
community involvement, maybe there's something that you can add to your packet that you think might be beneficial to might be able more presentable so that, you know, maybe you can get future funds. So I don't want anyone to think here that if you didn't get what you wanted or if you get nothing, that this is some type of decision or testament of the hard work or effort that you're putting in.
Right.
It does not represent that at all.
I understand.
We just hope that, you know, everyone here in the room recognizes that there is limited funding and that, you know, nothing is set in stone as to what can happen tonight or in the future. So we do
All right.
appreciate all your efforts.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
And
you,
thanks
sir.
for the work you do.
Absolutely. With that said, we can move on to the next organization, Prosperity Social and Community Development Group Incorporated. If there's anyone from that organization that'd like to come up and give some information as to their program, and please state your name and address.
Okay. Can you hear me?
A little bit.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Nadashville Saint, and I'm a resident of North Miami, 12580 Northeast Miami Court, office 1175, 125th, suite 400, but in North Miami. Thank you again for this opportunity. I stand here today to talk about the adult literacy program that we've had in the city of North Miami since 2013. The adult literacy program serves adults ages 45 and up. the majority of the adults in that program were Haitian descent, and we assist them with obtaining their GD. And I don't know why I'm nervous. I do this all the time. But however, we assist them with obtaining their GD. And also the purpose of incorporating that adult literacy was to partner up with the library, where we had assist the parents to learn how to read to their children. And we had several different family nights. We were able to secure funding to get several different organizations from Dollar General, I think Wells Fargo, and we put together family nights where we would have adults come out, read to their kids, and read to other families. And what we really increased in that program was the importance of them obtaining library cards, which a lot of them were not familiar in that, did not have some of that in their own culture, and then they didn't know the importance of it. However, with this program, we had it for the majority of like 4 years, from the time we were funding from the city of North Miami. But last year we had put a hold on the program because the Dollar General was looking for how we can partner up with cities to incorporate new programs for youth. So we stopped the adult literacy last year and focused on the youth, where we got funded in the city of North Miami to do this one pilot project with the youth. So this year we again reapplied for the adult literacy. But the years that we were applying for the adult literacy back in 2013 and 14, the city did not have other city programs. Like they did have the food program, I'm sure, but they didn't have the city's program for the youth, the seniors. They didn't have the seniors program back then. So I understand where the conflict came in, where they said they had too many programs in the city for adults and they didn't see the fit of the adult literacy. However, the partnership with the library made so much sense because the kids are already at our after-school program, so the parents are there to obtain library cards and also sit in some of the activities that we've done. So that's why we're coming back to reopen the adult literacy. We have service over the 3 years that we've been at North Miami, about 150 residents, only residents of the city of North Miami. And about 50 of them, I'm gonna continue. Okay. About 50 of them obtained their GDs and currently are students at Miami-Dade community colleges, which still come back and their kids are still at our adult literacy programs. We've had a long history of partnership with the city of North Miami and the library. And I hope you did visit our website.
I'm on it now.
Any questions for me?
Does commission have any questions?
So you did receive the grant last year, and how much did you receive?
About 3,000. It was only for the youth pilot program.
Okay. And so this year you did request 10,000.
Yes, to continue the adult literacy program.
Okay.
Back with the library.
And how many did you service with the 3,000?
With the youth?
Yes.
About 80 youth.
80 youth. Okay, so with the 10, it's to bring back the adult.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You should have questions.
Yes. Let me ask you a question. Is it because that you are competing with the North Miami Senior High adult education? Is it that's one of the reasons why perhaps?
They might say that. Well, I would say the difference between the adult literacy is a smaller setting, and it's one certified teacher and a GD certification person. And most of the parents are already parents from our after school program. They're not necessarily parents from the North Miami adult education. And most of the time, while we're assisting their children with homework, they also attend the program as well. And they participate in a lot of the programs that the library has.
Any other questions?
And you have volunteers that are.
Yes, the volunteers come from the high school.
The high school.
Most of the young looking for community service hours, we encourage them to also participate in the after school, to volunteer after school, as well as staying over to help the adults.
Great.
And I don't know if you guys have the package, but in the package you will also see, you will also see a partnership letter from the director of the library, how we also put together where we get sponsors.
Okay.
Because a lot of times the city doesn't sponsor some of the family reading nights that we have.
And we pick parents from our program that reads to other families. So
Wow.
that is the reason why we encourage to continue that, because we started having a lot of families come out and obtaining library cards. So
Right.
that was a very great success for us at the time.
Right.
So Lucia's gonna be mad.
Let me ask you a question. What are you, okay, with that, what are you going to use the fund for?
Just for the certified teacher and the DG person.
Okay.
That's it. The program is
should be-
completely free.
okay.
Residents doesn't pay. The library provide us the space that we need. Just to pay the certified teachers to come out for the 2 hours, that's it.
And the GD person?
And the GBG person. Which some of the funding that we raise money for, we pay for the applications for the GD.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
I'm sorry, what other types of funding or grants do you receive?
Together with Lucia and I, we had the American Library Association. We had funding last year from them, and Dollar General, Florida
Right.
Blue,
Okay.
and Miami-Dade Community College. Those very small grants, but it's to help to continue
course.
paying for the teachers.
Of course. Okay. Any question?
That's it.
All right. Thank you very much. We
Thank
do
you, Mike.
appreciate your time and your efforts. All right. Moving on to the next organization, the Natasha Financial Services, Inc. If there's a representative from that organization that'd like to come up and give a brief summary on their efforts, as well as introduce yourself and the address to the organization.
Good afternoon, Council. May I be
Evening.
able to present my flyer?
Sure.
Currently, I'm not in the North Miami district, but I will be providing my service in the North Miami Library. I'm in a district called unincorporated, so that's where I'm located. My name is Natasha Jocelyn, and this is my first time coming in front of the council, but I have a passion for financial literacy. I do have a profit business where I went to school for accounting and taxes, and since I've been volunteering at Camilla's House, Chapman Partnership, and I also work with Style Saves, I know there's a need for financial literacy. It's an alarming high bracket of, well, not a high bracket, it's alarming plague of homelessness down here in South Florida. It's about 20,000 reported, so we don't even know how much people not reported. And I feel since they're down in the South Florida area, they're in the North Miami area too. And I just want to find a way to educate people on different financial literacies to help them to budget, to get their credit info, to have a savings plan. Just little things to help them to say, okay, yes, I may be on the brink of X, Y, Z, but because I have this in place, I will be able to financially survive. Surprisingly, when I go to Camilla's house, I go weekly. As you can see, I have over 300 hours. You'll be surprised the demographics between 18 to 24. It's very high. I also participate in the Homeless Trust meetings, and the numbers keep increasing. So I feel it is a need not only in South Miami, down in the downtown area, but it's probably something that we can use not only in North Miami, but we can use it in North Miami Beach, all across Miami. It's just something that's just devastating the community. This is the future, and we gotta make sure we preserve their intelligence so they can be successful, not only for us, but the generation that comes after them. I think that's Generation X, if I'm not mistaken. And I do apologize if I don't know.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant?
So this is a new, not a new endeavor, aside from what the work that you're doing currently at Camilla's house, your outreach that you're currently doing. The not-for-profit is a new endeavor for you.
I've had my nonprofit since 2014.
2014.
Yes, it's been established since 2014.
And again, you have to excuse me because we are very limited in the information that was given to us.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I would like to actually be able to research your
More information?
Right.
Yes, if
So,
afterwards
I haven't
you would
got it
like
yet.
to speak.
They haven't
to-
handed it to me
Yes.
yet, so. Thank you.
You're welcome. Last year, we participated in activities for younger youth. We did a program in North Miami Beach Senior. We do book bag drives. This year we did with Style Save. I don't know if anyone's familiar. We were able to give back 6,000 youth book bags, school supplies. We also provided clothing, shoes, and entertainment during that time. The only thing is I can't put most of the youth on the publication for their protection. So that's why you see mostly pictures of me, because you can't provide. I went to Camilla's house first because of the adult program, but I stemmed into Chapman, which does have children. So it's just not only looking at, you know, the current demographics, but the future demographics too. And it's scary. It's scary because most times when the family have poor literacy, it rolls into the children, and it's just a bad generational curse. It really, I mean, I don't want to, you know, talk poorly about anyone, but it breaks my heart each time I go there. But, you know, I still go because that's how you can help somebody. Let them know, hey, you know what, I'm here. I'm a voice. I'm not a voice. I'm an ear that you can speak to. Yes, I may not have all the resources, but I'm trying to advocate to the people who can give me the funds so I can help you as well. Not only down south, but I know it's here.
Absolutely.
It's everywhere.
And I have to commend you on this work that you do. As a foster parent, I'm very familiar with the people, the families that you actually work with. And there does need to be more education for financial services and just support all the way around. As a foster parent, one of the main things that I do, that I say, is that my partner and I, we don't just foster the children, we foster the family.
Exactly.
And to give the whole family support so that when I have a reunification of a foster children to the bio mother, I call them bio mothers, or family, that they are now set up with tools for
success.
Exactly.
Yes,
they have a job, they have a apartment, and I go and I advocate for them. So it's basically, again, we need people like you, and I wish that we could give more. You
Yes,
know.
and since I know, you know, funding is hard, I decided this December, I'm doing an event combined with my profit business. It's going to be at Morton Steakhouse, and the funds are going right back to, you know, community building. So I'm not saying thank you for the funding, but I'm hustling every day. I'm hustling every day. On the contrary, the chamber was going to participate with my event, and they decided to back down. But I'm like, you know, I'm going to hit the floor running. Anywhere that the funds could be allocated to help, not only, you know, here, but just everywhere, I'm going. As you can see, I've gotten fund from Walmart. I've also gotten fund from the SBA. So I'm just trying to help as much as I can. And if you need any reference from Camilla's house to verify that I'm there, or even from Chapman Partnership, I have contacts. I even have awards from Camilla's house, just showing that, you know, I'm very passionate about this. And even though I go in there crying, I'm happy to just be able to go out there and just say, you know what, if I can do it, you can do it too. And thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. You're doing a great job.
You keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
The next organization is Community Rightful Center. If there's a representative from that organization that'd like to come up and give a brief summary of what they're about and state your name and also the company's address.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rosalind, and I work for Community Rightful Center. My address is in 9526 Northeast 2nd Avenue. We're a small profit agency. What we provide case management, job placement, and summer services for the youth. So what I'm asking today is for you guys to help me allocate a fund for 20 youth, like disabled youth in the city of North Miami. Last year we had the program. However, we didn't have enough fund to get those other kids that need to participate. Even though we get paid by VR to provide the program, but we don't have enough staff to get those kids. And then I believe that is a good program because majority of our kids, they've been sheltered by their parents, and we need to get them out to the community. Our service mostly we provide like job readiness, career training, and then when we do those things, we help them to become self-confident. We teach them about self-motivation, things like that will help them in the future to become independent. So mostly that's what I'm here for. So you guys could help me bring those kids out of the shelter to become independent. Because as we know, we're all gonna go someday, and then those kids need to be independent. And besides that, during the summer, we have, this is our the third time that we provide these services. And then last year, we have field trip. We bring a lot of people from the, how you call it? We bring different professionals to come talk to them. And then we take them to Miami-Dade. So they was very happy because a lot of them been home and they never go nowhere. So what we do, we just, trying to make things better. We teach them about money management. We teach them about college, if they want to go to college, different things. So we teach them about how to apply for SAFA. We also teach them about Indeed, how to look for job. And then we also help them with their resume, how to build resume. So those are the things that we're doing. So we're trying to help them to become confident whenever they're ready to go to the workforce, so they could be ready and prepared to do so. So
Excellent.
Mostly we work with disability kids, with disabled kids.
Disabled kids.
Yeah, and we have we contract by DVR, Vocational Rehabilitation, APD, as well as VA and different organization.
Okay. Is there anyone on the commission who has any questions for the applicant? Comments? No? All right. Well, ma'am, thank you very much. We do appreciate your time, and we hope that you're able to proceed forward with your program and all the efforts that you're putting forward. And we ask that you just don't
Keep up the good work.
keep up the good work and don't let anything that happens tonight, whether you do get allocated funds or not, please keep pushing forward. And we do appreciate your efforts as a community leader.
Yeah, that's one of the things we would like to do, because not only we help the kids, we also help the parents, because without the family being stable, the kid itself is not
Right.
enough
Absolutely.
to so we have to make sure the family is stable. Let's say the kids have a problem, so let's say they need housing. We also help the client, the family, because if they don't have housing, so
Yeah,
that's a
that's
problem.
great.
So if they need social support, we also help them with social support as well. Not only job placement, but if they need other services, we also help them out.
With that as well.
Fantastic.
Excellent. Well, great. Well,
Thank
keep
you.
up the good program, man. We appreciate your efforts. Thank you. Looks like the last but not least, the Community Health and Empowerment Network Incorporated. If there's a representative from that organization that'd like to come up and give a brief summary and state your name and your organization's address.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Mikkel Titus. I'm the Executive Director of the Community Health and Empowerment Network. Thank you so much for having us here tonight. The program that we are offering is a business financial workshop, which is called Getting Your Small Business Ready for Financial Success. We're actually a health empowerment-based organization, which was established in North Miami. I am a North Miami bred, pioneers, and 20 years living in the city of North Miami. I've also worked with the Florida Department of Health for 10 years as the Minority AIDS Coordinator, as well as a surveillance manager. I've since departed to start this nonprofit organization to be able to provide services in the community that will be able to help individuals develop healthier habits, improve their lifestyle and well-being, to avoid preventable diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, and HIV/AIDS. We also offer supportive and infrastructure assistance for other small businesses and nonprofit organization. And in this capacity, we offer our expertise to help these organizations maintain or extend their services through technical assistance and capacity building. So with this in mind, our organization offers these financial workshops that helps meet the educational needs of small businesses and individuals in the community. We have, I'll show this, we have done these workshops in the community and have partnered with the city of North Miami, then Councilman BNMA, as well as Councilman Alex Desamay, the CRA, We also partnered with the North Miami Chamber of Commerce to put on these events, and they have been very successful, bringing out individuals, entrepreneurs, mom and pop stores, established organizations, because what happened is we bring expert leaders in the community, business leaders, CPAs, financial experts, banks that we partner with, BB&T, right here in our local North Miami. They come in and they educate these individuals, entrepreneurs, and it's been astounding. The results that come out, they share their feedback through our evaluation, where they talk about how this is so needed because they're hearing about credit repair, they're hearing about how they can get their business started fresh when, avoid pitfalls that we often face that we don't know about, but we're able to educate them. One of the things they've always shared about is that it's not enough time because it's always a one-day session. So with this workshop, we can offer it as a 6-week session where they could come in and we could specify on those specific topics and be able to get them to expand, get the professionals, leaders to be able to talk about financial basics, legal directions, helping them to identify resources, credit building, business skills. Some of these, especially Haitian-born entrepreneurs, there's a lot of things. They have such great skills, They can sell the little peanut brittle. They can do pickles.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just don't have the right guidance. And so we're bringing that right here in the city of North Miami, the city I grew up with, the city that I love, and want to be able to serve and provide service for our people. So I also have one of our support team that's here with us, who's also a business owner, and he took part of that last session, and he'll share his feedback as far as what he got out of it.
Sure.
I just don't know if you have enough time.
That's fine. You're the last one, so.
Yeah, we know in business is there are different steps, when to start off and to go. So what she does is to try to bring a lot of business owners and try to move from the startup level to go a little bit further. The last meeting we had, the last workshop we had more than 30 businesses.
Oh, wow.
And that most likely some of them want to locate in North Miami. I'm in Broward, and I'm trying to work with her to establish a clinic here. I'm a physician.
Nice.
So she help us and guide us and try to get the right contact and bring business in the community. So
Excellent.
that's we are a network. We have a lot of other friends who want to establish and come down here and create jobs, provide opportunities. So we asking what she's mostly looking for is to move forward and to do more. Instead of maybe twice or 3 times, but to have a bigger program, like a 6 presentation on different topics, different subjects, invite different bank and entrepreneurs and educators and partner in the community to create more and improve the business model. Nice. So she is well known in the community, and we're working together to make to move forward the program.
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate your feedback.
And we have been blessed, like he said, to have partnership with the city of North Miami. We've done a lot of things. Right now, we have our Red for Women's Health Fitness support group that we have going on, and that's RED, which means the acronym for Run, Eat Healthy, Don't Smoke. It's an 8-week activity that's funded by the Miami Foundation, and that does help us to be able to be out in the community and get women and their families. I mean, we have little kids coming out with their moms and participating in activities, you know, pushing forward and not living that sedentary lifestyle that a lot of, you know, lower income individuals tend to do because of, you know, lack of activities to do. We also do the food distribution to the elderly on Friday at Griffin Park. We go in there, we provide healthy foods for them. We also educate them. So whatever we feed them, we're educating. Hey, this is, you know, wheat, whole wheat. When you're buying food, you know, with the Haitian community, it's white rice. You know, you put the big food on the plate, and that's what they eat. They put a little bit of chicken. And so we're teaching them to use the My Plate and proportion. So it's been really a successful time with them. They appreciate us when we come in. They know us by name. So it's always a great time. And of course, we end out the year with our annual celebration where we recognize heroes and sheroes in the community that is making a difference with our red dress and tie soiree. And our very own councilman, Desiree, will be recognized. Shameless plug.
Awesome. Was there anyone on the commission who has any, like to ask about the program or?
I'm just looking on your website here, and I see all the different great things that you do as a community, or within our community. And so the upcoming event that you have is the Red Dress?
Red Dress and Tie Soiree, yes, sir. You're invited.
I am now.
At FIU's, right here in our hometown, FIU North Miami.
Okay, great.
Is anyone else on the commission have any input?
So one other question. Sure. So with all of the things that you've done in the community, and this is the first time you've requested funding, a grant?
You know, like I said, we always get support. I work very closely with the Florida Department of Health. So we've been able to get a lot of support. And I speak with my community people, and I'm like, tell me when the CBO come out this year, because I want to apply.
Great.
So I stuck with them this year, and I made sure that I was able to get in and get that application in, which I do write grants, so I was able to do it on my own.
Great.
And a lot of the support come from friends and other business owners that, you know, I try to pitch in to make things happen, and because we know that she's doing the right job, and we know that this is for our community, so we usually try to just pitch in and make it happen. And but it's always a good idea to have a little bit more, to have a little bit more.
Absolutely.
But so far we've been trying to manage, but we can do more.
Of course.
Great.
Well, thank you very much. We do appreciate your team and your organization for giving back to the community, and we'll see how everything lays out, I guess, at the end of the hearing here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Being here.
Okay. Well, you know, like I guess like I was saying a bit earlier, you know, I think it's important for us to acknowledge all the effort. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, I recommend that you allow any members of the public who wanted to comment, who are not an applicant.
Okay. Prior to discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, with that said, I'll go ahead and take that recommendation. So, I guess the public hearing is now open for anyone, any resident or anyone who's in the room. If you may, please step up to the microphone. Please state your name and your address. And if there's a particular organization that you'd like to highlight or bring up, feel free to speak upon it. And if you may do so within the allotted 3-minute time.
I'll take 60 seconds. Good evening. My name is Metris Batts-Coley. My address is 1885 Northeast 125th Street.
Good evening.
I am a proud resident of the city of North Miami, and I was the consultant that was brought in to facilitate the workshop for this opportunity. And I want to say that I am proud of the people that showed up. There was 45 people in that room that day, and a lot of them had never, ever thought about writing a grant. I do appreciate the opportunity that I was afforded to be able to provide capacity building technical assistance. Other than the CBD block grant, nonprofit organizations need more funding. I think it will be a great opportunity for the city of North Miami to explore capacity building and technical assistance for nonprofit organizations. The nonprofit industry is $900 billion a year. You have a lot of organizations who are dedicated to working in the city of North Miami. And I think there's a way with effective partnerships to make sure that you can provide the capacity building and technical assistance so they can transition from the community block grant, which is only 15%, and position themselves to apply for other programming, which is what we discussed in class, right? We said that this would be an opportunity to get their foot in the door, understand evidence-based evaluation, income, impact studies, and demographics. So thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to more opportunities.
All right,
Great.
great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
No, I mean, I think it seems like I keep hearing repeated of how great this workshop is. So thank you for. I think that's a testament for your efforts as well as a professional, as a consultant. So thank you for
to
that.
the staff that we met and we talked at a City of North Miami event earlier in the year. So we had been talking about it and planning about it and working with Marie and Peggy. We included pre and post evaluations for future opportunities to expand whatever you would be able to do in the community.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public that would like to come up and give their comment? I don't think there is. So with that being said, public hearing is now closed, and we'll open up the. I guess we'll open up the table for discussion as to how. Excuse me. Yeah, discussion is to I guess the amount that's being recommended. Again, just to remind everyone that we are limited to the overall amount, which is $90,000 to allocate. Staff has put together this list of what they feel is the best representation based on the information that was submitted by the applicants, and I guess their brief due diligence as well. So, but on the commission, we do have the right or the powers to reallocate if that's something that anyone on the commission would like to entertain. I guess go ahead and propose. I will start with you, Bob. I mean,
let me start with. I've been on the board of a not-for-profit for the last 20 years, and I've been president of the board of directors for the last 10. And I'm very sympathetic to not-for-profit organizations, and it's hard to find a bad one. There are some, because the causes are great, and the people that work there pour their blood, sweat, and tears into the mission, whatever the cause is. And it's kind of like I drop food off at the Humane Society for the dogs. I can't go in. I want to bring them all home. And I just don't have room for all the dogs at the Humane Society every week. And I would say that listening to the folks that came up here tonight, you should all be proud of the work you do.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's an amazing amount. I said it. I mean, it's blood, sweat, and tears you pour into it. It's a labor of love. You're never properly compensated, except in the rewards of the success of your mission. So we have loaves and fishes to divide, and that's kind of the problem with this at this stage of the game. There's so much money, and the staff recommendations kind of did a stack ranking of everything, and that's one way to do it. I mean, as we look at each of the causes, each of the missions, each of the not-for-profits, each of us get struck differently. I've got things that move me more than others, and that's just everybody's personal experiences and biases. I mean, I personally think financial literacy is an under-taught skill that whenever we can teach it to people, so when they go out into the world, they can figure out how to balance a checkbook. I think the work that the Senior Citizen Meals on Wheels does is just fabulous. I mean, I don't want to go down the list, right? I mean, I think everyone that spoke here had a piece of my heart. And again, I thank you for what you do. How do we divide this up is, how do you look at it? I mean, so the ways you have to look at it are, one, we have limited funds, so you look at those that favor the citizens of the city of North Miami. I mean, you start with there because unfortunately, we can't save Miami Beach. So the folks that are dedicated to the residents of our city would probably get my attention more than others. I know as our not-for-profit gets judged, the things we can't see of what was presented that I think we would like to see down in the future is, I keep getting asked how much of the money that we raise goes through to the mission and how much of it takes care of overhead and program management. And we get judged by that. And I learned some valuable lessons in the process. I don't have any sense of that with any of the groups except one. And again, it was the Meals on Wheels thing. I think they don't, they're underpaid and the like. So, but that's just, again, my personal biases and preferences, and everybody's got their own. So I think what I would like to do is change the allocation, and I'm now in the deep end of the pool. I have no recommendations as to what I want to change it to just yet. So I'd like to hear from everybody else, and then we'll take a swag at it, I guess.
Well, then I'll go next, because I actually am right with you. Because as I was saying throughout the night, I feel like our hands are tied. And it's not that one is even more deserving, it seems like, than the other. It's that you all are. But I feel like I am not educated enough on all 15 of you enough to make an actual decision, to make a vote that I can sleep at night and say, okay, I educated myself enough on this. So I'm actually going to make a recommendation that we move this vote to the next meeting, if that is possible. I don't know if that's possible with staff, to extend so that we can further, and since staff is here.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a timing of this has to be, there is, okay. Because again, it's hard to now try to make a decision when these organizations they're.
What about a recess?
Right. Well, let's first answer
Let me
the first
finish
thing.
my point.
Okay.
Their livelihoods, they're still here. They're concerned. They need a decision, and I know that we have to make a decision. But so I guess, do we just start asking staff? Like, for example, the top question that I have on my head right now is, well, I've got a lot of them, but I would like more information on how you determined who to allocate the funds to and not. So, like, for example, the last Community Health and Empowerment, they requested a $15,000 grant, and staff is recommending that they are not get any funding. So I guess we need a better explanation from staff to help us be able to cast a vote so we can sleep at night.
The only difference that you do have in front of you tonight is the fact that the panel had the ability, meaning the Planning Commission had the ability to have the presentation, whereas we did not have any. All of them presented to you. What staff went, or our panel went by, it what was presented to us as a package.
Okay.
Whereas you were sold on the services that they are providing to the community. Whereas when we were having the workshop, we specifically told them whatever you presented to us will be who you are.
Okay.
So and this is why we brought the grant writer to let you know the package will represent you. We don't need to see you. Whatever you said in your package, this is what represents you. That doesn't mean based on what was presented to us just now, because I've never met a lot of them, because a lot of them are new.
Okay.
That doesn't mean the one that were awarded the most money mean like they're gonna be doing the deliverables like they're supposed to. But the fact that they can pull a compelling package just to sell to the panel, this is what we had to go by.
Okay.
So yourself, it will be up to you how it was presented to you and how you're gonna rank them.
Because you did a great job in how you did the information that we have, and that the research that you did. However, that didn't translate over to what we received.
Well, it
So-
was not just, we had a panel of 4 individuals that put everything together and make sure that they make their recommendation based on what was presented to us as a package.
Okay.
Whereas yourself, they're standing in front of you selling themselves.
Right.
So that was a difference.
That's the difference. Right?
Yes.
Okay. It's a big difference. Very different.
So the 5 scores were just off the package?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Down the road.
Anything from this side of the commission?
Well, just the idea of perhaps taking a short recess rather than tabling this to another meeting, or that idea. And just there's just, to me, some groups are talking about doing events or that aren't necessarily specific to this
To
city.
this city.
And then to me, it's just something there's some things that stick out to me that really need the funding directly.
Right.
Hot meals for seniors. I mean, it's like, that's just
I'm with you. Yeah.
basic human rights stuff.
Mr.
All right.
Chair?
Yes, sir.
I would ask if a recess is proposed, what would happen during the recess? Because
Because
you're
we
not
can't-
allowed to
exactly.
have
That's
the
I was about to ask the
We
same.
can't
So we
talk-
just have to say everything out. So, well, I
Yes.
think off the top that if it's not specific to North Miami, I would take that out.
Okay, which one did you notate as to not being specific to North Miami?
Well, the Florida Immigrant Coalition seemed to be not specific to North Miami. I mean, I can, rather than go that way, I could say that I feel really strongly about several of them as far as,
Right, but I think by identifying
I question why, why if Florida Immigrant Coalition that says maybe 20%, but that's a guess of a number of who they serve in North Miami,
Mhm.
they're asking for 10, we're getting a recommendation of 10, but then you have meals for senior citizens, that's just like such a crucially vital thing, and it's just inexplicably 8.
Well, it's
Why?
not.
That was a big-
It's been explained what it was based off. It was based off of the packet, so staff can only base it off of that. So if they were missing something or whatever, that's what the panel chose to give them 8. That's the reason why. So they didn't get again the benefit of hearing this. So
Right.
that could change it. So I think the reason why I suggest that maybe we identify the organizations that you may or anyone may feel that is not mostly dedicated to North Miami, then we can start seeing whether or not anyone feels it's appropriate to maybe lower the recommended amount and allocate those funds to maybe other organizations that may not have gotten anything
Or
they need more.
Organizations that got nothing.
Exactly. That could be
Right.
fine too. So if everyone,
Because
if
I
we-
would like to see some of that aren't recommending funding. I would like to see them, give them a chance.
Okay, so then
The reason I asked each one of you how much you got last year was to see if you got $3,000 and you did all of that with $3,000. Great. So if we could then give someone else an opportunity and give them $3,000 and they can now do great with $3,000.
Right.
Then, and maybe you not get the full amount that staff was recommending, then,
No, that's logic. I understand the point. So I guess if we're going down the list, the only one that the commission has brought up as to identified from number 1 to 15 is Florida Immigrant Coalition, not for any reason, but that's what was brought up. They're number 2. If we're saying here that it's 10,000, then I guess, I guess I'd have to turn to you and ask, what do you feel they need to be lowered down to or taken away to get to these other organizations?
Well, for your consideration, I agree with everything you just said. I would like to distribute to more organizations. When you've got a cut from somebody, for example, the.
It is. But I think that's why we have to go one by one.
That's
so
why I
we're
said
saying,
ask
so
if we're saying that Florida immigrant, and I hate to cut you off, Bob, but if we're saying that Florida Immigrant Coalition, I keep having.
So
yeah.
if we're going one by one, let's start with the Haitian Neighborhood Center.
Well,
Let's start from the top.
right, we were fine, but no one said there's no objection as to whether or
Okay,
not.
so therefore this is
so
automatically.
so we're saying let's keep
Let's
them
keep on
at
moving.
10,000.
Okay.
Let's identify
Can I make a
any of the
suggestion
organizations.
to that?
Yes, sir.
I would take the organizations that have been allocated nothing, decide what you'd like to allocate to them, and
A
that
minimum?
determines what, but
We
that
have
then would
left over.
tell you what your starting point is for cutting.
Okay. Okay.
If you try to cut in advance, you may be unsuccessful.
That's
at
a
the
good
end of the
idea,
day.
Bob. So then what do we feel is, I've heard in the past that, let's say the minimum here that staff felt, let's say that someone asked for is, let's say number 13, was the $2,000 it looked like. You know, do we want to make $2,000 the minimum?
Yes.
Okay.
That'd be my recommendation.
That we can allocate. Okay. And so we're identifying item number 2, applicant number 2, as one of the applicants where may or may not, be fully, providing most of their services in North Miami. Is there another organization start after number 2?
For
Anyone?
cutting?
Yes. For reducing.
Yeah, the one I would, and here's my reasoning. I'm trying to find the firm.
It's a site number 2.
Bear with me 1 second. I'll talk.
Sure.
The Communities United, I think, does a wonderful job, but it's a South Florida thing. North Miami, tonight just ended, maybe, the first of a series of sustainability town hall meetings that's taking place throughout the city of North Miami. So there's a new effort in town. I mean, we've got I sit on the floodplain management committee, and we've got a whole new initiative on how we educate people on a lot of the same stuff that you're doing, because we're in a flood, we're where we are. I mean, we're on the coast and we're in a flooded area. So we're doing the city's doing a lot of things down that road. There's outreach now to educate the residents on how they need to participate in their own survival in this whole thing at some point. So with all due respect, I think that's a place to cut, because we provide a lot of that service for our city. And this particular organization, we're a pretty small piece of the whole pie.
I get you. I get you. Okay, so we've identified applicant number 2, applicant number 10. And is there another applicant that anyone would like from the commission that would like to bring to the...
To cut from.
Or to redistribute?
Redistribute from.
What
I hate
about
that. Cut.
Expert Resource and Community Center?
Experts Resource in the Community Center, that was... which applicant? Oh, okay, yeah. Right. Yeah, I remember that one. Okay.
Because I think we also provide this type of service. in
Okay.
Florida.
Okay. So that's another one.
What is
so that's
our
the third
deadline
one.
again for the funding? For
The-
these funds to be allocated?
Oh, it's $90,000
Staff?
the most we can.
Marie?
Oh,
No.
sorry.
What are the deadline, because I know that this has to now go to city council. So the city council then has how long before the deadline for the funds to be allocated to the
So we have
nonprofits?
$6,000.
By the time city council adopt it, we have to now to go to the stage of sending the list to HUD
Okay.
and start generating agreement in time for them to have their purchase order by January.
January.
The first
It's
quarter
close.
start in January.
So right now, if
Thank you.
we're going by the three organizations that have been identified for reduction, right now we're saying the $2,000 is, I mean, we're not, we have 5 more, we need the $10,000, we're not gonna get that. But we could redistribute $6,000 and each of those organizations will get a little bit over $1,000, the ones that are at 0. That's if we if we reduce number 2, number 4, and number 10 by $2,000. I'm choosing a random $2,000 is what we're reducing to get fundings to try to redistribute either to the ones that are 0 or to any other organization that anyone feels like needs to be bumped up. Essentially, right now, I think we should focus on if everyone feels like everyone should get something, then right now we have $6,000 to redistribute amongst these 5 zeros. If there's any other organization that anyone feels that
I would
the wellness fairs, the monthly, again, they got 3,000 last year. Look at all the work that they did. They requested 20. Staff is recommending
Wellness.
8.
Which number is that? Number 9? Is that what you're talking about? You said wellness.
Yeah.
Yes, the MUD wellness.
MJD wellness.
Uh-huh. Monthly Health and Wellness Fairs Challenge.
Number 8.
No, that's their project. Oh yeah, MJ. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Number 9. Organization number 9. Okay.
Which one is?
That's MJD Wellness. That's the one that does the monthly health fair. That's what it says in our applicant number 9. So right now we have reduced number 2, number 4, number 9, and number 10. And if we reduce it by $2,000 each, we now have $8,000 to redistribute amongst the zeros or add to anyone else.
Jason, give me this
Yes,
number.
sir. All right. So number 2,
4.
applicant number 4, applicant number 9, and applicant number 10. So we can either choose to reduce by equal amounts for those applicants, or, we can take out more than 2,000, reduce by more than 2,000 each. I'm only choosing 2,000 because a random number that we all said, hey, 2,000 is.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
It's outside a legal issue, but.
Is there?
No, I just have a comment that's not a legal point.
Okay.
And the point is that even though you've identified a particular funding amount, I mean, that may not be translatable to an actual benefit to the organization. Like if they're trying to fund a person, $2,000 may not be able to fund the person. They may not able to use that fund for something that you think it might be used for.
Okay.
So it might be worthwhile to ask an organization, if we funded you at $2,000, what would you be able to use that money for?
Right.
So you have some idea of whether it's a worthwhile cut. For example, if you're taking from an organization that has a staff person identified that costs $10,000 and you're reducing them to 8, what impact does that have on
Right.
that organization? So I'm just saying.
Also,
I know. You just complicated the matters by a lot more.
and also we're
I hear what you're saying.
and just to add
Yeah,
that,
it's very true.
we're kind of coming from a what would you cut, where would you start cutting from, rather than what sticks out as the 2 or 3 organizations that really, really need the funding. Like the reading program was very
That
specific.
Russell
$17,190 is what they need, and that is so crucial to our city.
Yes.
This is about the
That needs
proactive
to be
involvement in
given.
children's lives. I would like to see that fully funded. I'm not huge on hearing nonprofits saying, "Oh well, we throw events and we do education and we give out food." It's like,
Right.
I want to see like the hot meals for seniors fully funded. I
Right.
want to see the reading program fully funded,
Right.
because
I
that's
agree.
stuff that really affects our city in a real way, not sort of while we're throwing events.
Right.
So we have
And-
$90,000. So I'm challenging everyone on the commission who's challenging what staff has recommended to help me get us to the goal line here. So I hear that you would like to fund them, but where's the $7,190? Where are we going to reduce that from so that we can get them fully funded, as you're suggesting?
What I was suggesting
No,
is.
if I may,
Go ahead.
I need to. Where are you
I
suggesting?
would be more radical in the list that you're suggesting to cut from, and some more.
Okay. Okay. So-
I mean, not to go back to number 2, but number 2 says, a guesstimate of 20% of the people they serve are North Miami residents.
Okay.
To me, that's like a $2,000 rather than a $10,000.
Okay. So is there anyone else in the commission that's in agreement with reducing applicant number 2 down to $2,000?
Applicant number 2 down to $2,000?
Yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yes. I'll be in favor
I
of
mean,
that.
just as an example of what, you know, for me, you know, it's hard for me to say, I want to take away from this and take away from this and take away from this. So I know we're working from the bottom up, but maybe also
Okay.
working from the top down. You know, what are the really priceless things that we can't take away from? And hot meals,
Yeah,
children reading.
we agree,
Yeah.
Howard.
I'm just saying. So I've tried to do the math a few times.
So what has that resulted in? Any conclusions?
I gotta
Really
say,
radical
you know, initially when I
reductions,
came in,
So then, what are you proposing then? We need to get to a number. So
I was initially going to go with that. You know, staff has done the great work, and so just we go
Well,
with
okay, so
staff
if we-
recommendations. However,
Right.
again, after hearing the others, as you said, it's really not.
So what
fair.
about
So-
the idea, okay, so that we said about the not specifically North Miami?
Yes,
Then cut
that
from there.
should be-
Okay, so then perhaps to say what of these groups have services that are provided by the city anyway, and cut from that?
I'm not
And
gonna
it's-
recall all 15
Yeah.
at this time. That's why I went the other way, because obviously there might have been like sticklers in people's head that, okay, maybe that one isn't covering, but I'm pretty sure the city offers some level of everything that everyone's offering here. What percentage, I don't know. So we can so that we can switch gears and try to identify the ones that I guess the commission feels are most critical in fully funding. So the two I heard were the Russell Life Skills. Applicant number 3 I'm hearing it'd be nice if they were fully funded. And I'm also I heard the
Senior citizens.
Senior Citizens, which is applicant, why am I not? Oh, number 8. So if we go that approach, let's try to with
give them the 10.
Let's see, so we're saying, so we're negative 7190. Let's just say 8K. So that means we're around $10,000 is where let's first try to get these fully funded, if that's what the commission would like. Where do we find these $10,000? You're saying to reduce from a portion of it from number 2, applicant number 2?
2, 4.
2, we said 2, 4, 9, and 10. Are we still identifying as those as the ones that we?
I think 10 you can further reduce.
Okay, so let's focus on those
concur with
4.
that.
Okay, let's focus on those 4 then.
I hate
So
reducing.
it's tough. It's not easy. So then let's say out of the $10,000 that we had staff initially recommended for number 2, how much would we reduce it by? I previously heard
Reduce it by 8.
by 8,000. Okay, that's what I heard. I remember. Okay, and now we need to find another $2,000. So let's say in number 4, applicant number 4 that's being reduced, instead of allocating the full 10,000 that they asked for, what do we reduce from there? Anyone want to make a suggestion? The easy answer would be 2,000, and then you'd cover these other 2 applicants.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
How many were you going to do on 4?
So it looks like we're reducing, so far, applicant number 2 is getting reduced by $8,000 in order to fully fund applicant number 3. So it's rough, this is a couple $800 so dollars there, 8,
Right.
10 left, whatever. Leave that floating. We're reducing applicant number 4 by $2,000. And applicant number 8 is being increased by $2,000.
Correct.
And are there any other programs besides number 3 and number 8? I'm sorry, number 3 and what was the other one we started? I can't.
3 and
Oh,
8.
number 8, yeah. Number 3, number 8, are there any other programs would we like to consider fully funding? How about another program where we would consider increasing their funding more than what's being allocated?
But we don't.
Well, we could try and get it from someone else after, from number 9 and number 10. But
I
senior.
mean, from what I heard from the seniors with the meals, it's. I would like
Yeah,
to
but
see
they
that.
can only, we can only fund them $2,000, we can only fund them, they're capped at 10,000.
Okay.
So we've gotten them their 10,000, based on your recommendations. So, are there any other programs that we'd like to fully fund? Are there any other programs that we'd like to increase their funding, who's already got an allocation?
Other than those that were zero funded.
Well, now I'm going, that's my third question. Are there any applications, and there any zero allocated dollars? I'm sorry, any applications that got allocated nothing that we'd like to seek funding from another source, either from number 9 or number 10?
12 and 13.
12 and 13 have been identified, so we're gonna try to see how we can get number 12 and number 13
And
funds.
14.
And 15.
And
What number?
14 and 15, so it's for 14 and 15, so essentially.
All of them.
All of them? We didn't say 10. 10 was,
And 10.
anyone said 10?
Uh,
I'm sorry, is it 10 or 11? No, 11. I'm sorry, so 11 through 15, we're trying to get funding for, some type of funding.
I was
So
saying 12 through 15.
12 through 15. Well, I'm hearing 11 through 15. You want 11 through 15? Or is 12? 11 left. Does anybody have any issues with 11 receiving funds?
No.
Leaving no funds? Okay.
Is that the youth to youth?
Yes.
to you, yeah.
Okay, so 11 will remain at 0. And now we're going to try to challenge ourselves to seek funding from 12 to 15, which is 4 applicants. These 4 applicants who were initially 0. So now we need to reduce. Again, previously we said number
Everybody
9 and
gets
10.
Everybody else, everybody
If we can get 2 for everyone.
take 2 from
Uh,
2 from all of them except for
What is your
the-
total on 10
Say it again.
What's
What do
the total?
The total
for 10?
for 10. Right now we have 8,000 for 10 total. That's the most they've allocated. We haven't reduced them yet. Or number 9, which we're saying that you'd like to reduce. So if we were to, let's say, entertain a reduction from number 9 and 10,
I think you could take 10 to 2 or 3.
take number 10.
10 to
Let's give them the high. So we'll give them 3. So let's say we have, we're taking out 3. No, wait. 3, 5. I'm sorry. Number. Say that again,
We're
Bob.
taking out
Can you repeat
5.
that? We're taking out 5.
Taking out
From
5.
to number. Yeah, you're right.
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 Yes,
We're down to
agree with
5.
that one.
Yeah.
Say that again?
Okay.
Which one
We're
was it?
removing $5,000 of allocation from number 10. So now they will be allocated
Instead-
$3,000
Instead of the 8,000.
instead of the 8,000.
That would be 3.
And if we were to say, so we got 5, so we're up $5,000 here, guys. Let's see. And then number 9, is there any reduction that you'd like to happen to number 9 still? The MJD Wellness and Community?
Yeah.
Okay. If we were to take out, let's say, 3,000 from them, I'm just throwing it out there, and then we can spread out 2,000 each to the 12 through 12 to 15.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think, let me write that down before I forget. And then I'm gonna read to staff out, and hopefully the numbers add up. And we're gonna take out,
I think you got it.
we took out 3 from number 9, you said? Yeah. All right. Okay, so. Let me double check my math here.
Do you think your numbers are current? Do you think you're up to speed on where we are right now?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about. I'm getting up to speed right now.
These are 2,000.
All right, I think I got it. Okay. So, from what I believe,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Go for it.
All right, here I go. I'm nervous. All right, all right, we're fully funding number 3. So number 3 is now 17. I should go in order, shouldn't I?
Yes.
I should go in order.
Round numbers.
So we
Don't
know
get in-
number 1, and we said number. Oh boy.
Number one was fully funded.
Yeah, number 1 was fully funded. Yeah, we said we're good. Number 2 is the one that we reduced
To
by
$2,000.
to $2,000, correct, and we got the 8,000. Yes. Then number 3. We're fully funding at 17,190.
Mm-hmm.
4. I think we reduced it by $2,000,
Correct.
so that's now 8,000. 5 remains the same. 6 same. 7 same. 8 we've increased it and we're now fully funding it to $10,000.
The North Miami Foundation, yes.
Number 9 we have reduced it by 3,000, so now it's at a total of 5,000 allocation.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, read 5, 6, and 7 to me again.
Yes,
please.
sir, no problem, Bob.
They'll stay the same.
They all stayed the same. That's why I can do it so
8, 10,
fast.
and 8.
All right. You good, Bob? Okay. Let me go back to number 8 so I can catch my thing. So we're keeping number 8 at 10,000. I'm sorry, we're increasing it to 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9 is been reduced down to 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10 has been reduced down to 3,000. Number 11 remains the same, 0. Number 12, 13, 14, and 15 are all 2,000. Now there will be a couple $100, I think, remaining. There should be 7, should be 810. $810 floating around somewhere, I think. Debbie, you're doing the math on that?
I'm going to right now.
All right. Let's see what 4 years of
That's not bad.
college. I don't know. I think I didn't check the balance. I did. I got it in my head. It should be like $810.
Yeah, I think it is 810.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so what happens is count 3, man.
Can I make a recommendation?
1 second, Bob.
Number 4 and 5, make them both 9.
4 and 5, now we're changing those numbers?
We got
Instead
it.
of
We got
8
it.
and 10?
We're about to add it all up, but
Wait, it should be the
I
same.
mean,
though.
I'm
It's a
not changing the
wash.
total.
It's a wash. It's a change.
Instead of 8 and 10, I'd like to make them 9 and 9.
9 and 9.
oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, Debbie. Sorry about that.
that's all right.
Okay.
I'll just,
That-
that's why we have calculators.
Bob just sideswiped somebody else.
There was 5 and 6.
Which number was that?
Christopher John, 5,
Was it 5 and
What
6
number
or
was that?
Yeah,
What
it's
number?
hard. I mean,
4 and 5.
In front of people.
It's 4 and 5, guys?
It is what it is.
it is what it
I'm
is.
sorry, Debbie. What was she?
I'm sorry.
4 and 5, they were 9,000 each?
Yes, they're being changed now to 9,000 each. Yes. Then we gotta decide what we do with the $810, which we could choose to give it to number 11, even though he's not here, and everybody gets a piece of the pie. We should have around $810 remaining. So we could choose to, allocate it anywhere. We could give it to number 11, he's the only non-profit that was not
Sure.
allocated. We could give it to that organization.
Can we give it to someone that
That
requests?
raises
right?
the question I raised before, which
About-
can
What
we
is-
do
what-
something
what's-
with it?
You're right.
Unfortunately,
No,
we're in
you're
a
right.
di-
You're
we're in
right.
a
I
dilemma
mean-
here where,
It's not
He doesn't have to take. Yeah, they don't
They don't
have to.
have to.
I mean, I don't know anyone in this room who wouldn't take anything, who wouldn't take whatever was allocated. So, but you do bring up a good point. So are we, Debbie? Is that adding up? Should I redo it?
Not how you were gonna have to go back in, I can
That's
see a
fine.
different number
That's fine.
here.
That's okay. We
That's-
changed it at the last minute, so
Okay.
let me see if I can run through real quick and see what I get as well. There's nothing wrong with cross-checking our impromptu math.
170.
That seems about right.
89, 970.
One.
How'd we get to
Including the 810.
Yeah, the 810, you guys did say 810 was going to number 11, right?
Okay.
Is that what we're gonna assign to 11? We agree with that?
Sure.
810?
You guys do that?
Yes,
It's a
let's go
perfect
ahead and
Number
assign number
11.
11, 810.
It's a
Okay.
perfect
For that
90,000
gentleman?
if you do that.
Yep,
And let me add that to it, and we got 90 on the money.
yep, because once I do that, and then we add the 810, that gives us,
Per-
that gives us our number.
So everybody's a winner.
Well,
Right.
I don't know.
No.
Ish.
Well,
That's
so
still
there's some people who got
Still off.
who got reduced, but
Two people
you-
counted it.
I think
89,170.
yeah I think we got it. I think we got it.
Okay.
All right, let me go ahead and spit it for one more time for the record, if I may.
Start at the top and
Yes, sir, I will. So here we go. Starting with number 1 in numerical order, we have $10,000. We have $2,000. We have 17,190. We have 9,000, 9,000, 8,000, 8,000, 10,000, 5,000, 3,000, $810, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, and 2,000. That was for the record. I didn't hear anybody
Debbie-
say.
I'll
being-
second that.
I didn't
Debbie,
hear
that
anybody-
is your numbers, and they add up to the right number?
Seriously. Does our math have to be right before we vote on it?
Her calculator's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a slow calculator.
It's all good.
It's not operator error or anything.
You're fast.
She's leaving out the zeros. That's why. That's probably why.
That's right.
Leave out the zeros. It's much faster. Just gotta know your decimals. That's gonna complicate things. You still not getting it, Debbie?
Yeah, I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that the right number?
No, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. We're good. Okay.
Then I'd like
Well-
to make a motion to accept
All
those
right.
numbers.
I'll
Yeah.
second it.
Yeah, the second. I guess all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Am I allowed to say anything else on the matter? I mean, I know we voted on it.
Sure.
So as you all can see, in the audience, it's not easy. I can tell you I've been on the board for a while, and we haven't gone through and reallocated stuff, but every now and then I guess it's good to, I don't know if it's good or bad, but hopefully all the applicants understand. Your stories were very good. I think all the work that everyone's putting forth is definitely recognized, and we hope that, whoever didn't get the amount that they were hoping to get, that they, keep pushing forward, work hard, and hopefully they can come back with results next year that you can come upon and speak upon and, reiterate and stress to us how important your, specific organization is to the community and the impact that you have. So we do definitely appreciate all the efforts and keep pushing forward. So we thank you all very much. That said, move on to the next thing, committee reports. Do we have any committee reports, staff? No?
No, sir.
All right. Do we have any old business?
No, sir.
Any new business?
No, sir.
All right. This is where Kevin usually likes talking about dates of the next planning commission. Are there any dates, Marlene? Have they staff identified a date for the next commission meeting?
According to our calendar, our next meeting is December the 3rd, and we're expecting to meet as planned.
Right.
December the 3rd.
And we do have, and Marie just reminded me of something very important. We'd like to introduce a new director.
Director?
Yes.
Housing?
Yes,
Oh.
as you may already know, well, you've been used to housing being under CPND.
Yeah.
I would like to allow me to formally introduce the Housing and Social Services Director, Albert Bazil.
All right. Thank you. Hello. Welcome to our community.
And
team.
Karen Frederick, who's the administrator, who you probably
All
will
right.
see more of the Planning Commission
Excellent.
as well.
All right. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you all for, another thing I do want to thank you very much for the effort that you put forth every single year. I know you hear a lot of the same questions, But I think it's good to educate. It's good to hear the questions so that not only I think the community hears on TV, but also for the rest of the board, the new members, to hear how it's evaluated and stuff like that. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's never easy,
And,
but we
and
do
know
appreciate
that,
the
know
effort.
that what the questions that we're asking, and by no way is it like a reflection of a fantastic job that you haven't done.
No,
it's really difficult.
We are used to that every year.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. All right. So with that said, if anyone would like to make a motion to
So
adjourn,
moved.
or anyone
I'll
second
make the
that?
motion.
Second.
I guess I'll second it.
There you
since,
go.
That's my benediction of being here.
Yeah,
right?
second. All right. All right.
Welcome
I guess,
aboard.
Do I have to call a vote to that, or do I just say meeting adjourned?
Welcome aboard. Let
All
me
right.
make, before you
All right,
sound the
Kevin,
gavel.
it's for you. There you go.
We've done this a number of times, and I thought this process went very well tonight.
Good.